Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Well, I'm just testing out my Zoom skills, which haven't been very good. So I'm gonna go to my live meeting room here. Hang on a second. Yeah, but I got a few things I want to share with you guys about. I wonder if I can close this out. I must be able to. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I have a couple things I want to share with you guys. I've made a couple connections. Do we have? Oh, we have somebody waiting. Let's see who it is. Eric, what's up, buddy? How's it going, bud? Mr. Eric R, what's up, buddy?
How's
Can
it
you hear
going,
me?
bud? Yep, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Sweet. I just had to finish up a call and get into work. I wasn't sure if this was going to work. I set up a whole new network at home yesterday. Went to a small business class equipment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So now you have even more skills I can utilize. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, it's more Ubiquity Unify systems. There's a lot of companies are using these systems now, and it's something that I haven't really used, so I wanted to learn it. So I set up and it's a better access point, a lot better wireless, and I can control like the firewall a lot better. So
Cool beans. Gotta love it.
yeah,
Yeah. So, what's your week been like? Week.
uh, same old, just trying to
Yeah.
get
So
through.
the live stream went to the right spot this time. I think I know how to do it now. I think it's successful.
I gotta pop out the chat for the stream and close that window off.
I didn't know all the other times my Zoom didn't bring me to the YouTube page. You know what I mean? What's up?
Yeah, I saw your fancy little email with all your new
Jerry Runk
images.
says he's gonna have surgery in a month, huh? What was that now? Oh, yeah, different header. I integrated it with Google Calendar. I think that was my issue.
Did you make up the second image, the one that looks like the stained glass with the sun in the middle with the gold
No,
play button?
that was sent to me via Rodney,
Okay.
architect. Email me and I'll send you a link. So I don't know. I'll just copy the link or just copy the link and paste it in the thing, I guess. Well, no, I'll send him the link. Don't do that. But yeah, I've made a couple connections with if I go to my share screen here, bear with me, with the YouTube Roger Penrose and his how the galaxy renews itself. Pretty wild. The Aeon upon Aeon model, I guess you could call it. Pretty wild. So what motivated you to get that small business thing you were talking about, Eric?
Well, I was just using the Comcast Xfinity modem slash router wireless device, and I couldn't they backdoored me where they enabled their Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot stuff. I couldn't have any control over that. The firewall settings were kind of junk. The kids were getting on stuff that they really shouldn't be getting on, staying up late. So this gives me scheduling capabilities where I can shut the Wi-Fi off and kick them off, so to say, of the internet.
Oh, so
Um,
yeah, so you
I
can.
can tell who's going where, what they're doing, how much usage, a lot more, back end control over it than just having a providing the service and not really having any control over what they're doing or what they're seeing, so to say.
You can actually monitor what they're saying too.
Not what they're saying, but like actively like tell like what sites they're going to, if they're like actively, you know, pulling down data. I can see if they're like streaming something, what they're streaming, that type of stuff.
Okay, now this video right here, I don't know, it's not the exact video I've seen. Maybe I should try to find the one I've seen. Oh, he was young in this one.
I think the big thing with showing stuff on YouTube, other people's videos, is muting it.
Huh?
Mute the video you're showing, because the sound is what the algorithms catch on to a lot and get you your YouTube strikes.
Even if you're not monetized?
Probably less so if you're not monetized. I'm not sure how if the algorithm, that word, even looks at it, but I'm so used to everybody being monetized that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but this right here shows the. I tried to go full screen. Here we are. Oh, come on! I'm not locking up, am I?
Yes, got a little spinning thing here on the sharing. I can see you moving around on your video camera, but the share, there it goes.
This is the black hole, you know what I mean? Now, doesn't that look familiar? Remember the vortex math principle we were talking about?
Yeah.
This also looks like Orion, dude. You notice that? The light cone? Now, in this video, he proposes that light can travel, you know, through this angle, you know, through the light cone. You know what I mean? But at each one of these this is like capping the pyramid from above. You know what I mean? Like how, and it's the delegator of time and space for matter, because without matter, light can propagate and flow, you know, endlessly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like same. Yeah, it gives it resistance. It slows its pace down, so to say.
Jerry's got to have surgery. He's got that's.
I saw that. I was trying to make sense of what he said.
Jerry, man. Jerry, my man. I love you, brother. I love you, man.
It says pushing two pyramids apart. I'm not.
No, this right here is what he's talking about. Is because the Star of David is when they're together. You know, this one's down here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Star of David is representing the us, so to say, the divine masculine and divine feminine, and putting
the dualistic nature of our world.
Being in that, as Jesus said, being in that, you know, the observer, being in that middle place.
Yes, in the middle. Yep, stuck in the middle too. Yep.
That's what that is getting.
Yeah, but that's the same thing as it. But that's what Jerry's talking about. This is pushed apart. The Star of David is pushed apart. You know what I mean? So it separates.
Yeah, but I mean, being a black hole, though, I really don't know anything about them. I would imagine that they couldn't push those two together and, like, you know.
Well, no, that's not the point. That's not the point.
Okay, maybe I'm
misunderstanding. You know what I mean? This, when we make this divine coupling, this brings it together. You know what I mean? Because this is God, the ineffable. You know, in short terms, you know, it's not, you know, literal is what I'm saying. But this right here is this. And notice there's a cube around it. So it's a squaring of the circle. And notice how this represents the arrows right here with the propagation of the energy, the radiation outward, which is coming from right here, the singularity, which is what we're trying to accomplish, because we're trying to fathom the singular nature in a finite, infinite, dimensionless space. You know what I mean? Because the singularity is the infinite, dimensionless, whereas the
You put it that way, it
boundaries.
sounds so impossible.
Well, that's the point. Is until you start to grasp it, you will never get your pyramid cap from above. You know, that's what he says. You know what I mean? Good for you, Jerry. Glad to hear your smoking is cut down. But yeah, this right here is a square, of course, you know, in a 3D version. But I mean, this right here is where the 9 comes in. You know, the 9 interlocked here. It's weird too, because in the Emerald tablets it's stated that it's Emerald tablet 9 as well. You know what I mean?
I
And
can't wait for my book to come in. I just bought that book, and
did you get the hardcover?
yeah, I believe so. The one by Doriel or
Yeah.
Doreen or whatever his name is.
Yeah. But in this book, it's the tablet number 9 is the key to freedom of space, and that's what this is talking. Exactly what Penrose is talking about here. I'll let him talk for a second. Now, did you see what he said about the flash of light? That is the allspark, I believe. That Big Bang, in essence, is what we create.
We didn't hear it at this time.
Huh?
The audio didn't come through. And I'm watching it on the Zoom side too, not even the YouTube.
You don't hear the audio.
Nah, I don't hear it either. I looked at YouTube and unmuted, stay silent for a minute.
I don't see your. Do you guys hear any? Hey, what's up, Aaron? You want to come on? You want to come on or what? I can hear audio. You're not listed on the Zoom page, dude. You're gone. You're ghost.
I am?
Yeah. You don't see your window up on YouTube, do you? Do you guys hear us? You can hear it on YouTube on my end. I don't know. But anyway, this is good. They can hear us. They can hear us both, dude. And you can hear the video, right? What the hell that's about? Oh, probably because it's a YouTube video. Can you hear it now? Hey, what's up? What's up, Jesse? How you doing, bud? Yeah, I'll post. Hey, Eric, post the link for this in the chat then, so everybody can join if they want.
Gotcha.
Right? So you can't hear the video, huh? That sucks. But anyway, he's talking about how light is propagated through the universe, and that light is created. You know, the newly discovered data from our friend Phil has shown me the light in essence. Now listen to this. List ye, O man, hear ye my voice, teaching of wisdom and light in this cycle, teaching ye how to banish the darkness, teaching ye how to bring the light in thy life. Seek ye, O man, to find the great pathway that leads to eternal life as a sun. Draw ye away from the veil of the darkness. Seek to become a light in the world. Make of thyself a vessel of light, a focus for the sun of this space. Lift thou thine eyes to the cosmos. Lift thou thine eyes to the light. Speak in the words of the dweller. the chant that calls down the light. Sing thou the song of freedom. Sing thou the song of the soul. Create the high vibration that will bring you and make thee one with the whole. Blend all thyself with the cosmos. Now, do you see that? That's exactly what Phil says. He says that your inner space or your mind space becomes one with the doo-wop. It becomes the cosmos. It becomes the underworld. You know what I mean? And it says the same exact thing right here. It says, blend all thyself with the cosmos. Grow into one with the light. Be thou a channel of order, a pathway of law to the world. Thy light, O man, is the great light, shining through the shadow of flesh. Free must thou rise from the darkness, before thou art one with the light. Now, so that's exactly, I mean, it's just crazy. That's how when Phil came upon us, or, you know, when I discovered Phil, that's how I knew what he was talking about was in line with, I mean, everything I've been reading. You know, I had no clue what this book meant until I met that guy, and I believe that. I hope you guys believe me with that. Hey guys, hey, there's 16 people with me. I'm surprised. Hello, Gary. I didn't have glasses on.
I put the link in there. I don't see anybody joining Zoom yet.
Thought the video guy was Steve. Oh, new light in that pumpkin. Yeah, right, April. Thank you, Jesse. I'm glad you like it, man. Hi, Paterna, or Padma, Kundalini. Jerry just went to the doctor. But yeah, we're praying for you, brother. We're praying for you. Okay, now, shadows of darkness surround thee. Life fills thee with its flow. But know, O man, thou must arise and forth from thy body go. Far to the plains that surround thee, and yet are one with thee too. Look around thee, O man, see thine own light reflected. Aye, even in the darkness around thee, thine own light pours forth through the veil. Seek ye for wisdom always. Let not thine body betray. Keep in the path of the light wave. Shun thou the darkened way. Know thee that wisdom is lasting, existing since the all soul began, creating harmony from chaos by the law that exists in the way. List ye, O man, to the teaching of wisdom. List to the voice that speaks of the pastime. I shall tell thee of knowledge forgotten. Tell ye of wisdom hidden in pastime, lost in the midst of darkness around me. And then it goes on to talk about, you know, long, long ago he cast off his body and wandered I free through the vastness of ether. And then it talks about circles and angles and how he freed himself from the bondage. But I wanted to skip ahead to this right here. Know ye, O man, that all that exists is only an aspect of greater things yet to come. Matter is fluid and flows like a stream, constantly changing from one thing to another. All through the ages has knowledge existed, never changed, though buried in darkness, never been lost, though forgotten by man. And then it says right here, I wanted to get to the 9 part. Right here. Down to the halls of Amenti I journeyed, the greater knowledge to seek. Asked of the lords of the cycles, the way to the wisdom I sought. Asked the lords this question, where is the source of all? Answered in tones that were mighty, the voice of the Lord of the Nine. Free thou thy soul from thy body, and come forth with me to the light. Forth I came from my body, a glimmering flame in the night. Stood I before the lords, bathed in the fire of life. Seized was I then by a force great beyond knowledge of man. Cast was I to the abyss, through spaces unknown to man. Now that's exactly what Phil describes as how he, remember when he says he, in a flash, he went into the abyss, the darkness, and then he looked back and he's seen the demiurge? That's what this is describing right here. What do you think to that, Eric?
Definitely. I'm trying to keep up on and follow. I'm pulling up the Emerald Tablets. You're on number 8, right?
I'm on 9.
9.
Yep. 9, the freedom, the key to freedom of space.
Gotcha.
Why? What do you got?
Now, see, no, I just want to make sure because when you're going over, it's like I think of parts on one part of it, and then you'll continue on reading another paragraph, and then
I skipped the whole page of it.
Gotcha. Okay, so
because I wanted to get to the gist of what I was trying to get.
Anyway, I've always related that kind of thing, that message, and like you said before, the more you read them, the more understanding you get from them. But from the amount I've read it, I kind of equated that to something like what the monks do in activating the light body. You know, where you free your soul from the body, is you activate your light body.
The astral plane.
Not even astral, but you know, like where you. I guess what that I always associated that to being is like, you know, when you're complete and your soul's ready to leave your meat suit, so to say, your 3D meat suit, and move on.
Oh, you're talking, yeah, but I think that's the death you must die before you die. So when you die, you don't die. You know, the eternal life as the sun.
Yeah, but see, if you do activate your light body, I mean, at that point, your light body and your soul supposedly are leaving your physical body. So does your physical body not die at that exact moment? It's not like it's going to continue to live. So I'm not sure how. Now,
that's what Phil's living in his existence right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say something to that effect. Now I could see that be more effect like that, but so
yeah, and I think that that story has just been told. You know, through. Did you post a link in the chat or what?
Yes, sir. Yeah, don't see anybody coming. I'll post it again.
Okay, we're gonna go to. They got this on Bibla, whatever it's called. Yeah, there's only 2 people in there. Okay. Okay, now the Great White Lodge. Now, do you know what the Shambhala is? Are you familiar with that?
Something to do with the underground city in Arizona or something like that, right?
I think Shambhala was said to be in the Himalayan mountains or something.
Was it Himalayas? What's the one that's in Arizona that?
That's the Great White Lodge, the United States version or whatever.
Yeah.
See, right here, we're on this one. And
see, I got this on a different site called Crystal Links, but
yeah, I just how do I zoom in this some beach?
Control and then mouse wheel.
Or just do it this way, right?
Or you can do it that way.
Yeah, I don't know how to do all that control stuff.
You just push the control button, dude.
Well, no shit, but I mean, I don't know.
You obviously know how to do it.
I don't know the prompts. You know what I mean? I don't know what
shit. Control mouse wheel, up or down.
I don't have a mouse wheel.
What?
I'm on a laptop using a touchpad.
Oh god, you gotta get external mouse, bro.
Okay, now right here. But truly, okay. What is it? That space is not boundless. Hang on, I gotta zoom this down. You distracted me. It's all your fault.
You're welcome.
Okay, right there. Okay. When ye are free from the fetters of darkness and travel in space as a son of the light, then ye shall know the space is not boundless, but truly bounded by angles and curves. That is the analogy of the squaring of the circle. You know, that you realize that the infinite is bound within a finite boundary. You know, like, and I attribute that to the mechanics of a black hole. You know what I mean? Right, Gary. Read them at least 100 times, and you know, I'm not even to 100 times yet. We kind of got to cheat now, Phil.
Well, wouldn't that be more referring to the overall grid? Like, think of like the circle and the square. So think of the square as the main outer lying grid. Look at your monitor. That would be, so to say, something to that effect. But
right, but there's more to it than that, because it's an impossibility to actually square the circle. It's been tried, and it's not been accomplished. And that means that you can try to corral the or describe the indescribable. You know what I mean? But there's always going to be that indescribable aspect of God or the spiritual because it's unseen, it's unmanifest in our physical world. You know, and it's I'm not saying totally, completely that way, but you know what I mean, right? That's what the
Yeah.
whole that's also goes with hand in hand with what you just said because the square is actually the finite boundary of the paradigm of matter, and the circle inside, you know, obviously represents the infinite, which is, you know, endless because it's a circle, which is the black hole analogy as well. You know, the black hole analogy, though, isn't a black hole like we considered it to be, because I think where the two cones meet is where the singularity is, but I think it's a transition from one to another, too, you know, from the past to the future. You understand what I'm saying? I think that is where the same as when our pyramid gets capped from above by the ineffable, which is God, our higher self, you know, and, you know, maybe I'm going over my pay grade here by trying to describe it, but that's how I see it. So I'm not saying that's fact, but I think that's pretty well what the dynamics of the past and the future are too. You know what I mean? Because also God is when you meet when you have the divine union with God, it's said that you're. Phil says that you understand finally that there is no, everything is dimensionless. You are just one in one time, all time existent, you know, meaning that everything is right there. It's at the moment of creation, you know, and you're at one with that. So what are the possibilities after that? You know, have you thought of that? That's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. What now? And what can you do differently that once you get there that you couldn't do? That's the thing that it seems like because
Well,
not the only person, there's other people I would say that have gotten to that level too. Probably Phil being the only one that's accessible.
right,
Other
right, or
ones.
actually has made the complete union. Because in my opinion is, you know, if somebody else made that, don't you think we'd find them online? Because that would be their want, is to help others find the way, like Phil has. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, there's a lot of them that I mean, well, let's say there's a lot that
Phil's the only one that's not
think
asking
they've
for
made
anything
it.
in return that I've come across. You know, and I'm not trying to put him up on a pedestal or nothing, but I mean, he's not. I've tried to get him to plug a book or sell something on my channel, and he won't do it because he's not in it for money. He's got a freaking college degree, dude, and he's a maintenance guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's right on the, you know, unless he's evil personified, you know. But I
Ah,
doubt that very highly. You know what I
I
mean?
so tried for like a year, over a year, tried getting a different job that wasn't in IT because I was just so done with that. I was just like, I don't care. I'll go be maintenance. I'll go work a cashier at a gas station. I just want something, just to get enough to get by in this crappy place. But, it just didn't work. Nobody would give me a chance. I was like, no, you're just going to go back to IT. I'm like, no, look, you don't even have to train me. I can pick up on your system in like 5 minutes, dude. Let's go. But anyway,
Right, right. But I mean, the whole concept of squaring the circle is just a rough, I don't know, synopsis or what am I, a descriptive way of, you know, putting in a layman's perspective, you know, which we all are, of course, until we make that coupling. Because do you really honestly believe that all of the Bible and all of the religions and all of that the God stuff is all fake and all here just to control us? No, it can't be. I mean, even if 10% of it was real, you know what I mean? That's still enough for me to want to pursue it, you know. And like I said, before I met Phil, I didn't understand this book. When you know, I didn't. I
yeah,
knew it had to do with light and astral travel, but that was it. I didn't know. See, right here, 9 are the interlocked dimensions. and 9 are the cycles of space. 9 are the diffusions of consciousness, and 9 are the worlds within worlds. 9 are the lords of the cycles that come from above and below. Space is filled with concealed ones, for space is divided by time. Seek ye the key to the time space, and ye shall unlock the gate. Now, this is going to be my topic right here, this right here, because what I just said was how everything is dimensionless. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And 1. So is this in essence the 9 before the 1, before the 10? You know what I mean? Or is it all? Is this the hierarchy of the past, future, and present of physical manifestation? That's where I'm stuck right there, is this stuff I just talked about or read. The key to the worlds within thee are found only within, for man is the gateway of mystery, and the key that is one with the one. See, that's what I'm talking about. So I think I just answered my question by, by reading the next verse. Seek ye within the circle, use the word I shall give, open the gateway within thee, and surely thou too shall live. Man, ye think ye liveth, but no, it is life within death. For as sure as ye are bound to your body, for you know life exists. Only the soul is space free, has life that is really a life. All else is only a bondage, a fetter from which to be free. Think not that man is earthborn, though come from the earth he may be. Man is light-born spirit, but without knowing, he can never be free. Darkness surrounds the light-born. Darkness fetters the soul. Only the one who is seeking may ever hope to be free. Shadows around thee are falling. Darkness fills all the space. Shine forth, O light of the man-soul. Fill thou the darkness of space. Ye are son of the great light. Remember, and ye shall be free. Stay not thou in the shadows. Spring forth from the darkness of night. Light let thy soul be. A sunborn filled with glory of light, freed from the bonds of the darkness, a soul that is one with the light. Thou art the key of all wisdom. Within thee, this is the key right here. Thou art the key to all wisdom. Within thee is all time and space. Live not in bondage to darkness. Free thou thy light from the night. Great light that fills all the cosmos, flow thou fully to man. Make of his body a light torch that shall never be quenched among men. And then it goes on to talk about, the halls of Amenti, the cycles, cast into the abyss. And that's exactly, I mean, this is just the same as, like the Noah's Ark story.
You can really spend some time breaking down each paragraph of that.
And here goes the chaos right here, how it says to, then asked I of the 9 of the Lord, show me the path, give the path to the wisdom, show me the way to the word. Answered me then the Lord of the 9, thou order, through order ye shall find the way. Saw ye that the word came from chaos? Saw ye not that light came from fire? That means that I think fire is knowledge. You know what I mean? Or the cold blue flower of light, I think.
Listen, see ye that the word came from chaos. So the word came from the chaos, but see not that light came from the fire. So that means the light did not come from the fire.
No, it says, saw ye not. So didn't you see that light came from the fire?
It's basically saying that you saw that the word came from chaos, but you didn't see that the light came from fire. Is that what it's basically saying?
I think it's just, I think that is supposed to be not too, because in my book it says shadows around thee. It says light more spirit can never be free. Darkness, great light fills the cosmos. Okay, right here. Stay now that in the shadows, spring forth the darkness of light. Thou art the key of all wisdom. Within thee is all time and space. Live not in bondage of darkness. Great light that fills all the cosmos. Long past. Where is that? Where?
Yeah, because I see it.
I think that is a typo right there in that one.
I see it the same way in this other online edition. It says the exact same thing.
Says that?
It says, saw ye that the word came from chaos. So to me, that tells me that you saw, we would say this, you saw that the word came from the chaos, but you didn't see that the light came from the fire. But it says, see ye not that light came from fire. So the same thing there. See ye not that light came from fire. So mine's got the exact same wording. That
is not the same as that. I don't know. Look in thy life for this disorder. See, I don't see that in this book either. I mean,
what are people saying in chat? Let's catch up.
wow, there's 19 people in here. What's up, Paul? What's up, Rainbow? You're trying to get in? Oh, okay.
Phoenix disagrees with me. Let's see here. Phoenix, there's a link. You guys. Guy Baker, definitely right. Gotcha.
Hello, Paula. Hello, Paula.
Hello, see ye not? Also, I agree that it means, don't you see?
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay. That I don't know why it makes more sense when she says it.
You got to turn your audio down in the background there, Paula.
He did. He muted it. It should be better now.
Okay, yeah. All right. And thou shalt have order in life. Order brought forth from chaos will bring thee the word of the source. Will thee the power of cycles, and make of thy soul a force that free will extend through the ages, a perfect son of the source. Listen I to the voice, and deep thanked. See, this wording is different, dude. Okay, hang on. Forth it came from a glittering flame. Okay.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing with these. Apparently, there's like
right here. See,
4 different editions.
Through order ye shall find the way. Saw ye not that the word came from chaos? Saw ye not that the light came from fire? See, that's yeah, and just them little words will screw you up. You see that? Look in thy life for disorder. Balance and order thy life. Quail all the chaos of emotions, and thou shalt have order in life. Order brought forth from chaos will bring thee the word of the source, will give thee the power of cycles, and make of thy soul a force that free will extend through the ages, a perfected son of the source. Listened I to the voice, and deep sank the words in my heart. Forever have I sought for order, that I might draw on the word. Know ye that he who attains it must ever in order be, for use of the word through disorder has never and can never be. Take ye these words, O man, as part of thy life, let them be. Seek thee to conquer disorder, and one with the word thou shalt be. Put forth thy effort in gaining light on the pathway of life. Seek to be one with the sun state. Seek to be solely the light. Hold thou thy thought on the oneness of light with the body of man. Know that all is order, from chaos born into light. That's exactly what Phil says, isn't it?
Yep.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And he's never even read this book. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know he's never read it.
It's pretty nuts, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's beautifully nuts.
Phil's had the opportunity to go to some of these old sacred sites. Am I correct?
Yes.
Well, Phil's been doing this for 20 years, dude.
I think that's like a real key in getting to that level is like you can get so far studying this from home, but knowing this information and going to the sacred sites and then doing certain things, maybe so to say, would really.
What are sacred sites though? What are you trying to call a sacred site? A site that sells my hat, like this one, with a smiley face on it.
That would definitely be a sacred site. We have to go there.
Yeah, that's a sacred site all day long.
But no, like the pyramids, of course, the Angkor Wat, stuff like that. How you say that word in Mexico? One.
Chichen Itza.
Yeah, all that type of stuff. I mean, I think each one of those has a key role or a different, from different roles, so they say that all kind of works together.
Right.
And I think even being in one of those places, even if it's being in the, on the ley lines or something and getting the energy from the ley lines and harnessing that,
I believe I live on a ley line in my area because I've seen some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff manifest in the sky here.
How far up north are you in there, Minnesota?
I'm right off of 694, and I'm right by St. Paul in Minneapolis. It's about the same. I think I'm on the 33rd parallel, actually.
I love it.
No, I thought the
I love
33rd
it.
parallel goes through the south end, like
No,
south
I think
of
I'm at
Atlanta.
43rd. I meant 43rd or something like that.
Okay.
42nd, I mean, something like that. I'm not sure. I thought I was close to 40 or 30.
Yeah, I know where that 33rd parallel is at because I looked all that up for in case
Or 40.
stuff hits the fan. I know where to go.
Why? What does that mean?
30. This is the supposedly the safer area. If there's going to be some kind of pull, actually.
I don't think any of that shit matters anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's what. Hey, I was studying all this stuff beforehand, so
Right.
Just
yeah.
Information in the back of my head now at this point.
Yeah, I got freaking $2,000 worth of food in the back of my head. It's sitting in my basement, bad. You know what I mean?
Oh God, stock up food. I never did get it. I was like, man, if you stock up food, are you really are you going to be able to stay in that one location? I mean, unless you're in the woods somewhere.
Oh, I went and bought an RV and everything, dude. That's what I'm sitting in right now, my stabbing cabin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, Veracocha. And, I don't know about the Anunnaki. What do you think about the Anunnaki, Paula? Oh, these are all in Spanish. I don't want to go to Espanol. Oh, okay. Thoughts serve to enlighten humans in the
I'm in a call. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, in the age that they were not the spawn of the Nephilim, the fallen angels of Lucifer. He revealed to them that although the fallen lords had greatly tampered with their mortal bodies through the aeons of genetic manipulation, humankind were still angels unaware. That's what we are, angels unaware, guys. Now, I don't know about any of this stuff, and I don't think it really matters. And I think it's all of the all of the ancient alien stuff. I think is just a I don't know. It's a I think once you're illuminated, it'd probably be sweet to follow that up. But I think before then, I think you have to concentrate on becoming the light, man. You know what I mean? And not necessarily concentrate on it, just strive for it, live it, and living it means to be a moral compass and paying it forward. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you do acts of kindness with people, you feel good about it. I mean, and if you don't, then you're probably not going to be illuminated. And how it says right here.
We got Nomad.
Oh, he's here? Oh, yeah.
Okay, what was the question, sir?
So how do you get the peanut butter out of the Kong ball?
That was not the question you asked me. You dillhole. What was the question?
I can't remember. Hang on.
Aw. Well,
Hello?
I'll rewatch this later because I missed the beginning, and then I'll get back to you in Hangouts.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, my daughter-in-law called. I had to talk to her.
You staying with us or you're leaving?
I'm staying. Shouldn't you leave, Mike?
No, man, you got to unmute yourself. I tried to unmute you.
I'll never try to unmute me if I'm muted. You never know what I'm talking about over here.
Oh, no, God.
Nomad.
If I'm muted, I muted me for a reason.
Nomad's laying on a pillow.
Yeah, he's chilling, but he's not. No audio.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you, dude.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to put the link to the video that you were trying to play for us that we couldn't hear the audio to.
I wonder why you couldn't hear the audio. That's kind of weird, actually.
Yeah, but we absolutely need that link to that channel. Absolutely.
What, that Roger Penrose?
Yes.
How's that?
That's one of the people that Phil had told us to check out. Him and Stan Tenen. And I didn't follow through with the Stan Tenen thing until 2 weeks later, and I felt like an idiot when I finally did, because I was like, holy shit, with the Hebrew alphabet.
Oh yeah, I already know about that guy. I found that guy years ago. I found that guy before I found Phil.
Wow, that must have been really confusing.
No, I was studying Hebrew. I was in a Hebrew root study group, so it wasn't confusing to me at all. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is pretty mind-blowing. What's up, Eric?
But I need the link to that video. Put it in live chat.
See that?
What?
See a gray screen? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, there's one of those in New York, too.
Yep.
All right. Look at the bottom of it. See the slot on the left, slot on the right?
Yeah.
All right.
Hang on.
Just remember that. Because I'm trying to figure it out.
You're talking these knobs right here?
At the very bottom looks like
Right
a square notch on both sides.
Right here? Or right here?
Left side and then right side.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. You see the notches on the top too, or just above. I'm talking about the side stones, and then there's a little indentation.
Something mounts there.
You see that?
Something mounts there, because that's the got the top brackets where the big squares are on both sides, and then the two indented squares on the bottom, more like a brick shape.
Right.
That's where something would secure in and connect in. I was seeing something about somebody was doing a video that was more like the Tartaria mud flood kind of theme, but they were talking about how these old monuments were all like kit built, you know. That's why all the
you
stuff
mean
looks the same all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, like prefabbed?
Yeah, like prefab kits, and that's how they put those monuments together. And that's exactly what that picture looks like, a prefab kit. You can snap something else there, and the rocks were the foundation for it, and maybe they didn't get to do it or something, finish it up, but it looks like something was snapped into place there, and
those little knobs are on all the megalithic structures, like in Machu Picchu and.
Yeah, and somebody was showing that they like how the different ones from one in the Angkor Wat, I believe it is, and then the one in Mexico had the exact same design, but in
Tiahuanaco.
Yeah, I can never say that correctly, so I say in Mexico.
I don't know. I am probably wrong, but it doesn't matter, right?
No, I think you're right.
Oh, what were you saying?
Well, I'm trying to find a picture to show you, just to ask you, because I've been trying to figure out. I just noticed these patterns, and I'm like, there must be something to this.
No Love Frank thinks that's a portal.
Is that Peru or Mexico? I think it's Peru.
That one's in Peru, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you want to take over the screen, just go ahead, man.
I shouldn't say it's in Mexico then, huh?
Did you see the titling of this? This isn't titled this in my book. It's just because the supplementary tablet 14 is actually tablet 11 supplementary, it's called in my book. It's not listed as a tablet per se. You know what I mean?
So
14 is, it says supplementary tablets 11 and 12. So it goes, it just adds the because there's only 13 tablets originally released. Now, isn't that odd? Because 13 is the magical number.
Yeah, it is.
Teotihuacan, that's what it is.
Yeah, Teotihuacan.
Anyway,
that's where that gate is that you just showed?
No, I think that one was somewhere in Europe.
No, they just say the place.
Is that the Baal temple or whatever that thing is? The gateway to Baal or whatever? Baal or whatever?
I'm not sure if this is what this is, though.
Baal.
Because I
I'll
was
think that
watching
one is.
I Am Legend last night. You know that I Am
Right.
Legend with Will Smith, and right outside of his door of his house that he's all locked up in behind the metal gate and all that. Right as soon as he opens his door, they show one of them things, these doorways, but it doesn't have these wide pillars on the side. His is
See
more
that
like
one?
that. Yeah, with the notches. That's what you're talking about, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hang on. It gets more interesting.
Seems to be a lot of that, and even all the different old mega structures like that. The old, what we call ancient, buildings is they're all interlocking pieces. Like one place that has those H blocks that you like.
Yep.
Perfectly, you lock them in together, and they're not moving.
Yet
Forms
they're
a
laying
seal.
on the ground.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder.
But this shows me, this tells me that something happened in the middle of construction. They were going on like normal business, and bam, they're all gone, or something.
Maybe it was the flood.
Yeah, maybe. No, that's kind of weird too. That what's manifest, and I was discussing the comet issue with people. What if the comet is actually the light coming to us? You know what I mean? In our heads. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree with that.
And it's kind of odd that the timing of everything is right now. I don't know. I don't want to fearmonger, and I don't want people to be thinking that the end is nigh. But there's obviously in that Robert Penrose video that I was showing, he
Notice
actually
anything?
the colors, the red, black, and white,
How about the eyes?
the slots.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 3 eyes, and how many of these are around here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wow.
And how about the red and the yellow?
Yeah.
And how what
Hemispheres of the brain.
What if you looked at that like the MasterCard symbol?
Exactly. Runke would like that one.
What about this? Gets even crazier. I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. This is just in
This
my
is
mind.
an Inuit. This is an Inuit depiction here, right?
That's a Hopi Kachina doll.
Oh, it is. Nice. And they started making these Kachina dolls in commemoration of the beginning of the Fourth World, wasn't it?
I always thought it was supposedly had to do with what they called the Star People.
Yeah, and the seeding of their Fourth World, I think, and that's what they. But I think the red and the blue shift is what they attributed to too as well, right? Two.
Yeah. I've heard that. Let's see. Notice the eyes.
The eyes are slants, just like those square indents.
See it?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And
what are these in their hands right here? The feather and the mace? Is that what those are?
I don't know.
I think so.
Why do you have a bunch of private chats open right here, Rainbow?
Who? Oh, are you talking about me?
No.
Bunch of private chats where?
Yeah, in the chat.
In what? In our chat?
No, in the Zoom. Forget it.
She said
I have no idea. Zoom's got to be puking up that stuff. It wasn't me.
Scary.
So is that all you had to share there?
So far, yeah.
Rodney sends me all kinds of. I think that thing on the invite email, the stained glass windows that you were talking about, Eric. That's who I got that from. Was Rodney? He sent it to me.
I just wondered if that was a real picture or if it was like Photoshopped, because I'm like, man, this is brilliant. Well, like, how did they get that?
That's a window off of some church. I can't remember where, but
I can't remember which one I sent.
That play button can't be in there though. It had to be.
No, I put the
edited
play
in.
button in there. I put the play
Okay.
button in.
That's the part that was getting me. I'm like, is that the way it actually is, or is that play button in that actual? That's a real image. Or somebody put that up, like.
Right. But yeah, I wanted to go to this because it says becoming thrice greatest. Now, that really rings true with me because of my numbers, obviously. And I didn't expect when I asked Phil what he thought 333 meant, he would say God thrice great. But it's amazing that I've always seen that in my life, And I'm not saying that I'm special or anything. I'm just saying that number has presented itself to me on several occasions when I could have made a wrong turn, per se, and it steered me back to the I don't know, from being road rage sometimes. Seriously, that superficial, not superficial for me, but I mean, I was doing 80 miles an hour 3 times in a row, all in the same week, and all of a sudden somebody with that license plate pulls in front of me 3 times in a row, dude, on 3 separate days. You know what I mean? Right around, not in the same area of the highway, but I mean, and it's not like I go driving around looking at license plates either. It's just weird.
I hardly leave my house. And the other day, I left my house and there was a bus coming right at me, number 13.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, have you guys noticed, have you been paying attention to movies and stuff lately? How the symbolism is everywhere? It's everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And it's usually
absolutely everywhere.
It's crazy. And if you watch the animated series, even like The Incredibles, in The Incredibles, the Pluto symbol was just pasted all behind them, in their new house they got, in the newest version. And yes, I watch a lot of animated shows because of my kids. But yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
But you can't see me anymore, thankfully.
Yeah, I can't see you anymore. And I don't know how to shut my video off.
Oh, there's a little slash button down there.
Where?
Bottom, well, I'm on the phone.
Yeah. I just hit
So you remember, did you happen to catch those pictures I sent you that were like corporate logos?
How long ago was that?
Just a couple days.
Yeah, the last few days I've been plowing my arse off and haven't had really much time for anything.
I have noticed that all the corporation logos are like the real big companies always have some kind of esoteric symbology in their built right into their logo.
Yes.
You see that?
White Castle burgers are gross.
What is this one? What are you saying this one is?
A lot better than crystals, though. So, anyway.
So notice on the left side you have a golden door.
Okay.
All right.
I was thinking represent the golden gate and the silver gate.
Oh, the silver key. Does anybody understand why you get the silver key first?
It's worth less than gold?
No, but I mean, you would think you'd get the gold key first, wouldn't you?
No, I mean, I don't know.
All right, Eric, you're
I would
demoted.
think
You're
silver.
demoted to attendee now. I'm just kidding. Agree with me, or else, boy.
I would think it would be silver then gold, for the simple fact the songs always talk about silver and then gold.
Okay.
Like the Christmas song, silver and gold decorations on every Christmas tree. Yeah.
So you remember this?
Yes, the mace. Yep.
Now this is in the graveyard, top down.
Yep.
There's 2 of these at the entrance path. There's 4 paths into the pyramid with the 4 columns, that, if you recall.
Yeah.
So notice the left-hand path is awfully wide. You notice that? That's how I take it.
Left-hand
now
path.
Why?
The right path is narrow.
Yeah, have you noticed that? This is my interpretation. I could be totally wrong, but
okay, I got you.
But this is where I'm trying to head with it. That's what I need your guys' brain.
We're all one brain, remember?
Oh yeah, your processing power.
Need to assimilate.
Yeah, we may all be one brain, but
Us.
we're all seeing different aspects and
Yeah, all at different
interpreting
levels.
that into that brain, so to say.
Each of us have different areas of our brains opened and awakened. And so when we come together, we have the whole, which is the one.
Exactly.
Hey, did you happen to see Levette's recent video?
I watch all of Levette's videos. I'm the one that pushed Levette on everyone because they need to watch her videos.
See anything there?
Oh, that movie, man.
Yeah. Look at the symbolism in that.
Wow.
See a guy pointing left?
Yes.
You see a
And the
tusk
other
a
one's
little bit
looking.
further out to the left. You
Yep.
see the guy on the right. He looks like he's kind of scared and oh shit moment. Sorry.
You talking the
The squirrel.
Uh-huh.
And that the tusk, if you
So you
come together, they look like the infinity symbol.
That is the infinity. Yes, it is the infinity. And he is also an elephant. So, yeah.
And then you also see the lightning striking down on that left-hand path.
Yes.
Well, it could be interpreted as lightning. It could also just be interpreted as ice cracking. I take it as lightning.
Looks like lightning to me because this looks like ice right here hanging down.
Well, at the same time, you got to look at the picture backwards.
But
and sometimes upside down.
That movie,
the left that we're seeing in the picture is actually its right.
I think in that movie they actually go to a crystalline, because the world's gonna come to an end because there's a comet coming, and they end up in a crystalline cave. I think it's that movie where it's filled with nothing but crystals. And,
yes.
Yeah.
How about that?
I heard some stuff about that movie. I've never seen it though.
What, this one, The Kingsman?
Yeah.
Looks like a laser gun.
But remember, you're supposed to correlate that with the last photo and the photo before.
How everything's leaning to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you own is in the box to the left.
Yes.
Beyonce.
Oh, I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That song she sang, it was released 6, 7, 8 years ago maybe. Everything you own is in the box to the left. And then what about the march? Left, right, left.
Yeah, they say left more than they say right. Yes. And the left side of the creative side.
And they end on the left.
And you want to know something else? Ain't nothing right about me. I'm all that's left.
Oh, cute. Cute. You're adorable.
I don't know about that, but
shut your mouth.
I can come up with some dumb ones, that's for sure.
That was adorable.
You guys can put whatever you want up. I'm looking for other ones.
So I came to the conclusion myself, probably via higher self, months ago, that serpent and dove mean Mayan flying serpent.
Yeah,
how about that one?
They both signify the cloud, though, right? I mean, they're both the same.
Dove, they're one and the same. Yeah.
The dove in because that was one of the first questions I asked when I woke up, and I was actually at a church in Minneapolis, 5 sets high, and I was the Big Lebowski. He's got a gun on the left.
Sure does, and he's got a guy in purple, which signifies royalty.
Royalty, yeah. Wow.
And if I were looking at that bowling ball and I said, that could be there's a little black hole in the sun today, the same old sun as yesterday.
Or that's exactly the singularity symbol for the sun. It's actually the symbol for the sun.
0 point.
The circle with the dot in the middle.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Wow.
And the pin over here is higher.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, I don't think all of this is done with the knowledge of what they're doing. I think it's all through creative instinct, if you will, like the creation.
Downloaded to.
Yeah, they think it's their own creative instinct or whatever, but it's actually through the all. You know, just
Right.
like the lyrics of music, just like all of it. I don't think
Yeah.
there's, and people want to, a lot of people like to attribute it to an agenda. And if it is an agenda, I think it's more of a higher self or God agenda. You know?
Yes.
Well, the sad thing is, why would you want to hide that from the masses?
Right. I'm not saying there isn't a faction of our people that are in the know, but haven't used it in a good way. That, you know, I'm sure there are factions of the Illuminati or whatever that are bad, obviously, because there has to be, you know. Otherwise,
Well, in the Illuminati and the Masons, there's the White Lodge and the Black Lodge. So
yeah, I know nothing about that, nor do I care to know about it, because I think when you start giving that thought process energy, you give that power to them. You know what I mean?
right. But I was
I
just
think
saying,
I think that's what the magic of magic is, actually, is just
yes.
the thoughts of
What you believe, you receive. That
Mhm.
pesky little Bible says.
What you get, you put in. What you put in, you get.
Yeah, that applies to like everything, even like what you focus your energy on. Like,
Right.
so it's like, well, I don't even watch TV, movies.
Right here now, right here is exactly what Damon T. Berry's been talking about in his videos. Regions there are two between this life and the great one, traveled by the souls who depart from this earth. Duat, the home of the powers of illusion. Sekhet Hetset, the house of the gods. Osiris, the symbol of the guard of the portal, who turns back the souls of unworthy men. Now that Duat is exactly where humans go. I have this. This is on the Crimes of Grindelwald, right?
This?
This motif is, but not. This is a different movie,
Yes.
huh?
Yes. You'll
Wow.
see this in everything. The way I take it is a portal on the right, a portal on the left, or a ride. I mean, literally a ride.
Yeah, I like the one on the left here.
Yeah, the one on the left is kind of squarish, and the one on the right is a circle.
Yeah,
don't
I
think
like the
that's
one in
the
the
left.
white right here.
Yeah.
She'd be a good Valentine's present.
Oh God!
I thought you were talking about the shorter person.
Hey, I'm a man. I can't help it.
Oh yes, you can.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
I thought she could use a little bit more
I
energy
don't
myself, but
I don't understand why I see these patterns, and I really wish I knew exactly what it means.
Well, it'll be something I can ask Phil.
Yeah, maybe he'll have some insight.
But you know, the thing with Phil is if he doesn't look at it and know what he's talking about, he doesn't elaborate on things like we do. You know what I mean?
He just knows.
And if he doesn't know, he won't elaborate. He won't,
Right.
you know, say, "Well, I think it's this," or "I think it's that." And that's how I pretty much know he's telling me the truth, is because he doesn't lie to me. You know?
Right.
Well, the Randall Carlson video that I sent and that you posted was very enlightening.
Yes, it was, and a lot of people like that, and it did bring a lot into perspective, and it's amazing how he doesn't see the spiritual side of it, and he's got to, though. You would think he has to.
Well, he's just telling you he doesn't.
For
But he
sake
also
of,
said it was irreconcilable. No.
Oh.
Today, the guy said it was irreconcilable, that there is no duality. It's the whole.
yes, in the long run, right? Oh, you're
Don't
talking
look
Roger
at it as-
Penrose.
Yeah, don't look at it as a duality.
Yeah, Roger Penrose he's not. That's one thing Phil said about Roger Penrose, is that he sees everything in a physical, tangible, factual, scientifically proven manner. You know, like the physics of everything. He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't elaborate on the spiritual at all.
Because if you see it as a duality, then that creates the collision.
Correct.
Instead of the harmonic or harmony balance.
Well, and
Right.
if you give credence to a doubt of your theory as a physicist, or in his field of work than your what do they call it? Uh, Theoretical physicist, right? Is that what they call
Right.
it?
Right.
I'm a
Well,
physicist theoretically, but I'm not a theoretical
I
physicist.
mean, half of what they gave us is all theory. They presented
Right,
as
but
fact, and then they try
you
to
know,
like blackball
yeah,
other people that have different theories on it. Like, oh, here's theoretical science. You're not. You're
What's
yeah. That whole
frustrating?
peer-reviewed process is nothing but a money machine, is all it is.
Right.
that's all. Yeah, but
And do
Open.
you guys ever get frustrated with how do you know what you've been taught is correct at all?
You
you
don't
don't.
until you. I don't know. I don't know.
I
I don't.
knew right away in school, when they tried to tell me that 7 was actually 9, I questioned them right away.
What?
What?
Never heard
Septum,
that.
September, and then they said
Oh,
it's the 9th month, and I questioned it, and oh no, the world ended that day.
What are you talking about?
the calendar. September would be in the it means 7, so it would be the 7th month.
Oh, because
Technically, the calendar should go from what I think February or something like that to is it February sometime that the
you talking the lunar calendar or the way they used to have the lunar year, or what are you
I
talking?
would not the lunar calendar. I guess it would be more God's calendar if you want to call it anything. The natural calendar, the original. I'm not sure how you would.
Well, the original was
Yeah,
by the moon, and it was 13 months.
Is that the
yeah.
Gregorian?
28 days per month, 13 months is the
Yep,
original calendar.
you said it. That's right.
And that's they took away the 13 in the beginning, or the alpha in the from the omega then. So there
Yeah.
is one, and how fitting is this right here? There is one, even the first, who hath no beginning, who hath no end, who hath made all things, who govern all, who is good, who is just, who illumines, who sustains. Then from the throne there poured a great radiance, surrounding and lifting my soul by its power. Swiftly I moved through the spaces of heaven. Shown was I the mystery of mysteries, shown the secret heart of the cosmos. Wow, it's so amazing. Came, carried was I to the land of Arulu, stood before the lords of their houses in their houses, opened the doorway so I might glimpse the primeval chaos, shuddered my soul to the vision of horror, shrank back my soul from the ocean of darkness. Then saw I the need for the barriers, saw the need for the lords of Arulu. Only they, with their infinite balance, could stand in the way of the impouring chaos. Only they could guard God's creation. Wow. And then it talks about the circle of 8. Then did I pass around the circle of 8, saw all the souls who had conquered the darkness, saw the splendor of light where they dwelled. Longed I to take my place in their circle, but longed I also the way I had chosen when I stood in the halls of Amenti and made my choice to the work I would do. Now, you guys notice or see that new stairway that goes down into the freaking desert in the Giza Plateau?
Oh yeah, there's so much under there, but I'm sure the complex is thousands of miles under that sand.
Was there
And remember,
something that
that complex
Right.
was built prior when it was probably savanna type, maybe a marshland or a green. It was green. It was
grassy? Yeah,
They're talking now that the whole plateau, the whole one big slab of rock, wasn't even there to begin with. That whole limestone,
foundation.
yeah, foundation. Which is it's got to be a couple miles in diameter, or a mile in diameter at least, right? That
Oh
was
yeah,
put there.
easily.
That's
Yeah, I'd like to see some LiDAR of that area. You never see much LiDAR. You see some LiDAR of like the Bolivian, Guatemalan jungles and these, monster pyramids that are larger than Giza.
pull up a share of those pictures you're talking about, Steve, because I don't know if
What
you have
pictures?
any.
What
The
are you talking about?
stairways you're talking about in Egypt,
Oh,
in
God,
that,
yeah. Why
in
did I
that
just
wall.
share then?
I don't know if you have those or can find those, but
Yeah, I'll just go to YouTube. It's on my.
What you're saying is like there's like a layer of limestone on top of some other
Yeah,
structures.
I just watched a video by Ancient Mysteries, I believe. I'll go to my history and find out.
Almost like subway coming up out of a subway in a city.
Yeah, but it's just enormous, and you can see how thick the limestone block is. It's just incredible.
Have you ever? How much have you looked into Wayne Herschel's work?
A lot.
Yeah, me too. What's your? I love it. I think he's brilliant.
Yes.
Wayne
yes.
Herschel?
Yeah, he says that the heaven-born land is in the bull's leg, or the leg of the bull, and that's what the A in Alpha is the Taurus constellation.
So that's home.
That's what he thinks. Yes. It could be where the demiurge originates, or where our
That's
the
the
whole
original home of the manipulators, as I understand it.
but we are the manipulators.
We're the
Our own
manipulated.
ignorance cause our own demise, man. In my opinion.
We forgot who we were.
Yeah, because
Yep.
power greedy, money hungry people took over the system, and that's us.
And then separated everybody.
Well, we did that to ourselves though, because we wanted to follow doctrine that we knew nothing about. We just took people's words for it. Let the Christian church and whatever church, take over and do whatever they want, and follow them blindly, and thought that that's what faith was. In my opinion, that's my opinion anyway.
When it was a control paradigm.
Yeah, and that they're obviously in our past, in the Dark Ages, obviously there was a faction of people that knew more than the rest, obviously, because they were killing people for trying to learn how to read.
And they wiped up all the knowledge that they could on the planet.
And isn't it odd that they chose Friday the 13th to take out the Templars, that were the connection to the knowledge?
The original knowledge.
Yes, and that's where the whole Holy Grail story comes from, in the physical form. But I think they probably knew that the Holy Grail was actually the knowledge of the illumination, the divine principle, or the divine union.
So do you think that's why the Templar cross is actually a symbol for a photon?
Yes, that's exactly what Phil says. Why it is because it's the boat, it's the ark, it's the light is the depiction of the ark, and I believe that that's why there's a boat buried next to the Great Pyramid in Giza, for the same reason.
And then you see all the solar boats on the ceiling of Dendera and things like that.
Dude, go to the hamburger menu on the left. The hamburger menu.
Well, I think the boat also represents Argo, the ship in a constellation.
Yeah. Now go to history. I'm watching you go. I'm like, dude, come on.
Well, because
you're killing me over here.
You're killing me over here.
I'm going to put architect.
I'm used to doing it on my phone,
What does Phil think about Giza Plateau and the reason for all the pyramids all over this planet?
Pyramids are ascension chambers, are the physical form, are symbolical form, and the center of communities, because they could actually, like Thoth says in the Emerald Tablets, he builded the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, as a gateway,
for the soul. For the soul.
For the soul, but you could lay in the sarcophagus and astral travel through the pyramid.
Yeah.
And Aaron of Australia Esoteric Knowledge, Aaron, he says that he actually been projected through the Great Pyramid before. You know what I mean?
That was also a teaching of the Essenes.
It's so weird you said that, because I just watched a video on Dolores Cannon's channel about that.
Yeah, really? That's part of the process that
Jesus went there actually and was initiated in the
Jesus went through there and went through the initiation and through the chamber of the in the sarcophagus of the pyramid, and hence how he got enlightened. And
Right.
Christ consciousness, you know.
What was I looking for here now? You got me sidetracked.
I think it's deeper than that.
The pictures of the stuff from Egypt, the stuff about Egypt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that was like part of the process back in the day too. Is like they had all that stuff.
It was a doctrine that anybody that wanted to be ascended or a holy man or a holy person would go through.
Yeah.
I mean, every ascended master, it was a teaching. I actually, and in the Atlantic, what is it? It's denied me? Are you serious? Oh, there it is. Okay.
At least now we can hear it. Well, we did before you muted it.
I muted it. Well, you're the one that told me to mute it last time, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking you were monetized.
Now look at this right here.
Okay.
You see this? Do you know what this means?
I do not.
Got playing some kind of music.
Playing some music? No, this is a lotus flower.
That looks like an old school record player.
Yeah, like the Edison player. Right. Great.
Yeah, it does.
What's that on top of her head? Is that another crown or the well, no, it looks like they all kind of got the same thing. It almost looks like a rocket ship from this.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
It looks like those things that are on top of the German World War I helmets.
I know we got there's like the wolf, and then there's the blue birds. Those supposed to be the blue avians.
The blue avians. Oh, the blue avians.
Phil says that they're depicted as blue because they're like the Yogananda and the Vishnu.
I don't know. We'll have to get Corey Good on here to ask him about his blue buddies.
No.
Actually, don't knock that because Phil actually believes the guy.
I still contend that this is the crossroads of all.
Well, right. That because the all needs us. That's why we're so special, because we create the energy, the light in our heads. What we're trying to accomplish right here. That keeps the creation going. We create the demiurge through the all spark. You know what I mean? You guys do understand that that's what divine union's about, right?
Right.
That's what the Big Bang, I believe, is. I think we go back to that point of creation, and it keeps doing the cycle within a cycle, and we are the microcosm, yet we are the purveyor, progenitor of the macro.
So we're what makes the movie projector turn?
Yes. And yes. Right. That's what I think where the distinction of we are creators comes from. Not because we can make a sandwich or a building, you know. I think it's because we create the creation itself. You know, and that's why God made us in his image to be the creator. Or its image, or you know, and it's how, like that on that Roger Penrose video when he was explaining how light can propagate endlessly without interruption, and it's timeless. Light is timeless, and that goes right back to the fact that the only reason why light is there's a speed of light in our reality is because we are in a linear modality, meaning we are in a physical form that needs time to manifest our matter. You know what I mean?
So we impose the clock on ourselves.
Well, it's almost it was built into the structure of our matter existence and the accretion of who we are in the 3D realm. I believe that's why in the accretion disk there's a belt, you know, around, and that's the plane we live on. And you know what I mean? And there's only like this much space, you know, proportionally, of course, and to the expanse of everything. You know what I'm saying? To the abyss of everything else. Why is everything located on this disc? You know what I mean?
Right.
In our realm. And which leads me to that planetary alignment that's coming up. Well, how is Sirius considered a dwarf planet. Is Pluto considered a dwarf planet? I think it was demoted even from that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it
That
was.
was
I think it was called a planetoid.
wasn't it taken off and then put back on or something, or was that like a Mandela?
No, if you look at all the solar system models right now on Wikipedia, that doesn't even list Pluto on there.
Okay.
Right, Paula. When we looked for that
Right.
symbol, remember?
That's right. Yep. But we know why they took it away, but we're putting it back.
Have you ever considered this, that we hop planet to planet?
Yes, and I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
have
why
that.
Third Rock from the Sun is the 3D and the Fear Factory. Because in the book of Emerald Tablets, it states that 3 is the one who fetters and binds man's soul by illusion. And
So
fear.
if you believe you died, you died.
That's right.
Right,
If you
but
believe
you're still
others died, they died even.
but you're still in the recycle structure of. But I think when you go into the do-what, you have the choice whether or not to stay in the do-what, which is probably boring as hell because you get whatever you want, and there's no drive behind anything you do.
Sounds good by me right now.
Right.
So
I mean,
nice little break.
Yeah.
but it's just like anything else in our lives, right? We have something too much of something, we get sick of it.
I
you
need
kind
a
of get bored
vacation.
with the amusement park.
Right, exactly. Or get sick of standing in line waiting for the ride.
Because
It
it's
never happens.
incarnate, disincarnate.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the way it's supposed to be. But that's not the way we have it right now.
I remember when just reincarnation was enough for me. Just the thought of coming back here every time.
Right.
Do you guys remember that thought? I remember that. But for some reason, I want to know everything. I don't know. Okay, 3 holds the key of all hidden magic. Creator he of the halls of the dead. Sending forth power, shrouding with darkness. Binding the souls of the children of men. Sending the darkness, binding the soul force, director of negative to the children of men. Does that not sound like our Earth?
Yes.
And that's the 3. And 4 is he. Go ahead.
Have you ever considered this, that the sun is actually black?
Yes, the sun is a black hole, I believe.
There you go.
Well,
yes, that's what makes it a gateway or a portal.
The other
It's a
end
gateway.
is a white hole. So yeah, white sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what that cone, that past and future cone of that I showed, that it looks just like the capping of your pyramid from above. Like Phil was talking about how the pyramids are turned into diamonds in a field of clay. That's why. That's why Orion looks like an hourglass too.
So you're on the dark side.
We're on the dark side, right? But remember the old saying that the world has gone down the drain.
Right. And think about that. It's right in line with why the drains turn one way in the north and turn the other way in the south.
Yes, yes.
Right in line with that whole thing.
How many people
go ahead.
that you talk to have this concept at all?
Nobody.
I've tried to tell people that, and they think I'm insane.
Yes, they do, and they actually want you to go get help because it's so far-reaching that you're going outside you're going above your pay grade, so much so that you're talking nonsense because it's not attainable, and that's exactly what we've done to ourselves because we believe everything is physical: a car, a dollar, a watch, a Nintendo, a laptop, and that we've done it to ourselves. And I've always known there was more to life than what we've been dabbling with previously.
Technically, the biggest revelation of all is that people need to wrap their mind around this, that they are the archons.
Right. The all spark, the reason why everything exists.
Yeah.
And that's why there's cycles, because if this cycle isn't producing, why would it continue? Because what happens is this is where the doubling of the numbers comes in, I believe, where the longer something is propagated and fruitless, the more entropy is created, the more degradation.
Is that where
Christ cursed the tree that wouldn't bear fruit. Yes.
Which is why our current degradation is getting so severe.
Yes, exactly. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So
it's,
is that
just,
where
it's definitely looking like it's time for a wipe. That's for
It's
sure.
the proverbial
just gonna say
cattle
it.
prod.
I have no problems with this place getting wiped out.
So the slate gets wiped clean.
Right, and then your mind gets wiped clean when you decide to come back. You know, and I believe that happens even as an ascended individual. You know, even as an ascended individual, you can't come into this life with your previous knowledge of knowing everything, because then you would open the door to the profane, because your knowledge. You know what I mean?
No,
Yes.
because there's
Yes, that's
kids
what
now.
Phil says.
No, there's actually kids now being born that actually have full recall of past lives and details of stuff. I mean, it was sparse before, but
Right.
some of the kids in the last 5 years have been like really more so doing that. So,
But I'm
therefore,
talking the knowledge of the Godhead of
As-
our creation.
as I understood it, that whole mind wipe thing was all part of the manipulation of.
No, because if you came to this world knowing everything, what would be the point?
Because if like the Rush song says, the point of a journey is not to arrive. Because if you arrive, you're done.
Yeah, because the beginning is the end. The Alpha and the Omega, right? Is that what you mean?
Right.
Yep.
What do you think this disc represents?
I have no idea. It looks like a freaking fan off of a blower motor on a car or something.
Right. It sure doesn't look like it belongs near all the stone.
Actually, that looks like the atomic symbol, does it not?
Yes.
Kind of looks. Yes.
Wow, that is odd.
That was just.
I wonder if that's a key integral part of a Vamana or whatever.
That actually looks like a 3D printed part there.
It does, doesn't it? I thought the same thing.
Yeah, it does.
Have any of you experienced a waking dream state ever?
Yes, always.
Not always for me, but yeah, I
So,
have once or twice.
I had an episode like that a few weeks ago, and it kept repeating in my mind.
What was it? Can you remember? Because I also interpret dreams.
Something vortex. Something vortex.
Isn't it weird how it seems so familiar when you're thinking of it, but you can't explain it?
Right.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks.
I keep having a weird repeating dream, but it's totally unrelated to this stuff.
That you know of. What's the
Do we want to know?
Something about, I don't know, something about, I feel like I'm back home, which is in the Chicagoland area. And I'm skipping, and as I kind of skip along, I kind of notice that I don't really have to do it very often because I'm kind of floating, and then I kind of like do a little jump and flutter my hands, and I'm like up in the air.
You're trying to remember how to fly.
Like you're Peter Pan?
So when I was a kid, all the time in my dreams, I could always levitate.
Yes.
I could just think it, and I would levitate above the buildings, above the trees.
Yep.
I don't know why or where that came from.
Because we're trying to remember how to fly.
I used to have dreams that I was rendered helpless, like I couldn't lift my arms and I felt powerless.
That happens to me every night when I fall asleep, dang there.
I've had that too, sleep paralysis.
Yes.
Well, if I'm still awake, how is it sleep paralysis? It's more like sleep paralysis.
I've had that happen. Actually, I smoked a big doobie one time, and I stood up too fast, and I collapsed on the floor, and I couldn't move my arms or my legs or anything, but my mind was still working, and I was watching TV for like 15 minutes, man. That was the scariest thing I've ever experienced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something similar. The first time I ever did a bong hit was off of a 6-foot bong, and a dude actually at the bottom of it, he blew into it. So it's just like, but basically I got this one huge hit, 6 foot of of hit.
Oh, power hit?
Yeah, it
That's
power hit me.
overkill.
And I was sitting on top of a couch to hit this thing first of all. So I literally fell straight back on my back, and I just started seeing like these weirdest visions ever. But I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything.
Yep, that's
Like
how
blink,
I was too.
breathe, nothing. It felt like I couldn't do anything. But yet I was having like this. It was like these awesome colors going on. I'm like, yeah, I can live here.
Up until I was about 6 or 7, I used to have these just spectacular dreams that I could not articulate to anybody, and used to scare the shit out of me. It was colors, light, and geometric shapes of sorts. Not really more shapes that I can remember, but I mean, they were in forms that I can't recall. But the colors and the light, I definitely recall. Like it was my latent memory, but it was like soon as my real world mind was indoctrinated with the first days of school, it went away. You know what I mean?
Now, look at that picture in that
These
ancient
knobs.
Giza thing, yeah. But now, see,
Right.
that looks like it's like the underlying base plate that you could put some columns up against it, notch them in there, and they'll hold them in place, and then it'll be like an outer border. But that looks like it's like the internal side of like.
This is in the Giza pyramid right here, in the Great Pyramid right here. This knob is in there, in one of them shafts.
Like it locks the stones in place.
Or it's used as a nodule or some sort when they're moving them somehow, because it's on all these megalithic block structures. You know what I mean? Like this
Right.
wall right here.
Kind of like if you have a landscaping block, a lot of them kind of have a notch like that on the back of them.
Yeah, to stop it, prevent it from slipping forward, right? Yeah.
You're the mason. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, landscaping blocks are just pretty much stacking them, though.
Oh yeah, because you do actual cool masonry work, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had that talent.
Yeah, it's a good skill to have, but I mean, it's an expensive endeavor if you want to get it. But I have got most of my house stoned for free, actually, because of my work. But it's
cool.
a lot of work. You know, it's hard to
take the extras from job A.
Notice how there's always these 2 slots in these walls that are in them vent shafts, as you know, for lack of better descriptive words.
Isn't that like that block right there is movable?
Yeah, they actually took a couple of them out of these shafts with them robots in like 2002 or something. And
they never showed us what was on the other side of those doors.
Oh, here's another oddity. These knives are made of alloy that aren't from Earth.
Yep,
you know,
right.
These daggers and Tutankhamun's. Right.
Because we didn't come from Earth.
No, we didn't.
Right, but I mean, Tutankhamun is the son of Akhenaten.
Akhenaten, yeah.
You know, and Nefertiti.
Yep.
And Phil that's the only time I've ever seen disdain out of Phil was when we were talking about Akhenaten.
He didn't like it?
Oh, no, he hates Akhenaten for some reason. I don't know if he hates him, but I mean, Paula. He's about the only person I've heard him really speak ill about.
Really?
Yeah.
That was Enoch.
So it's Akhenaten. Could it be the Garden of Eden?
I think Earth is Eden, actually. I think the whole Earth is Eden, in my opinion, but I don't know.
Is the flaming swords actually the sun gate?
The flaming swords are the light, I believe, the demiurge, I think, isn't it?
Well, it's supposedly what guards the eastern gate.
Right.
And the swords, flaming swords turning in all directions.
Yeah, that's the light, the demiurge. But do you see this right here?
Yes.
Remember that guy, that kid from Mars that recalled his past life? He's right here, this guy, Borskov, or I think his name was. This kid.
Right.
He tells details, and he does it in a trance. You know, this was back in like late 90s or whatever. And he's since disappeared. Oddly enough, you know.
Probably hiding, though.
He's like,
have you watched any of the forever or knowledge of the forever time, Damon Barry?
I think I have.
So he contends that those notches, which are very similar to the notches on the gates that I showed you, they're very similar to the notches on the Kachina dolls. He contends that those notches on the side of the Sphinx face is actually a model of the sun's face.
A way to unlock the mysteries of the Sphinx, yes.
And that the Sphinx is actually the sun's face. And those notches actually represent when the door opens. And I contend the reason they track the sun as carefully as they did is that the gate opens 4 times a year.
On the solstice and the equinox?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's weird you say that because there's other literature out there that shows that them gates that you showed are replicated in the sun. The physical manifestation, the way they look, are shown in like the surface of the sun. You know, like an
like a shadow, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if you were a light,
used to have bong hit competitions.
So think about this: if you're light and you wanted to leave, you'd have to go through that sun. And think about this. You think that sun is hot. You could think of that sun as hell. So think about the song by Metallica, Trial by Fire.
Yes.
I think that's what we're doing here is trial by fire, because we're in the physical manifestation. The hot and cold of life is, or the heat of life is only in the physical manner.
So let me ask you this. If you stood in front of that sun as a spirit, you're going to be like, hell no, I'm not going through that. And you're going to turn around and go back the other direction towards the lesser light.
No, I think you're drawn to the light like a moth to a flame when you're spirit.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I kind of understand what you're saying there, though. Like, that's why they try to program that into us, so that subliminally, when it comes time, we'll
Well, recently there's been a push to not go to the light.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They're trying to push us away from the light, and that's bad.
Well, I think what Steve is referring to there is that people like saying like if you do die, don't go towards the white light or something like that. That's the soul trap, reincarnation trap thing or something.
What's the soul trap is not waking up while you're here, not dying before you die, so that when you die, you don't die.
That's exactly it. That's my new understanding of it now. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't wake up first, and
that's right. That's the soul trap. That's right.
So have you guys ever contended or thought of this? Do you have to die to leave?
No, you don't have to die physically to leave. You can, but then you'll just end up back here again. Now, if you're talking about leaving, you have to die before you die, so that when you die, you don't die, which means that you won't die physically. Because
that's the eternal life of look at this right here.
What defines that dying before you die? Is it having the knowledge, or is it getting to, say, the level that Phil says he's gotten to?
It has a thing to do with rest.
Well, how about
in the end? It's rest. It's calmness in the storm. You know, that's exactly what it is. You see this right here? This is me all day long, guys. ADHD. All day long.
Oh,
this
cool.
is what that Boris kid was diagnosed with.
So you ever thought about turning the story upside down?
I'm indigo.
Well, you see the vesicle right here? Whoosh.
Yeah.
They try to tell me I'm ADHD, but I told them you can kiss my ass.
They told me that. I just went and got street drugs to take care of it.
Well, if you can't focus on the crap they're trying to feed you, then you have ADHD, according to them.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Right.
Well, they want to put you through the hamburger grinder.
Well, they want to get you thinking like the rest of the Borg society. Assimilate, or else.
The reason they diagnose so many kids with ADHD now is because the kids are so bored. And they know that they're better than that.
Yeah.
And then they just become destructive.
And that's probably the reason why they go to video games so much now. Well, I did too, but I got sick of them.
You just described my childhood.
I got sick of them.
Right. I know. All of us, I think. Yeah.
I got so bored in school and I got so violent. I mean, if UFC was around back then, I probably would have been in that.
But it
Right,
had nothing to do. It was
I was just fed up with it all. You know, I was fed up with it all.
I
got
knew it was
kicked out.
like I knew as a kid that this whole thing. I was like, this is what they're teaching me is BS. And then anytime you ask a question, you just get ridiculed and ostracized.
ask a
So
question.
you stop
Yeah.
asking questions.
Right.
Pay little attention. Pay little attention to paying attention. Do not listen to spoken to.
Now that I get this information and stuff as I grow older, I look back and I'm like, man, I was more awake than I thought I ever was.
Oh yeah, I was born awake, so for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Are easily distracted, hyperactivity, impulsivity, ADHD, often fidget, squirm, often leave seat when expected to stay, run about, are constantly on the go and appears to be driven by a motor. That sounds like me. Answers prematurely. That's me all day long. Often interrupt or intrude on others.
They could just list that as doesn't conform to sheeple model, and that would.
There you go.
one way to treat it or try. Remember, all the food turns into neurotransmitters, neurochemicals. So
Look at
cut out all sugar.
Look at that.
Cutting out all sugar is so hard for me.
Especially if you're hypoglycemic like me. But I'm trying.
But I did swap over to a natural, non mess with sugar, that's
non-refined.
Yeah, not refined, not granulated, nothing,
Raw
no bleach.
Sugar in the raw.
It's not even sugar. It's something. It's because even that stuff is processed. This stuff here is the only one I found that was actually, and it's a different kind of sugar. It's Morena, pure cane sugar.
Yes, pure cane sugar. That's
okay. Now you guys understand what all this stuff is, right?
But it's a Morena. It's a different type of sugar crop, I guess.
The shepherd's crook and the cobra.
Yes.
And all this, you guys understand what all that is, right?
Wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. Serpent and dove, yes.
Both look like serpents up there, though.
There are two serpents, a male and a female. Yeah.
So he must have a flail in his hand, huh? And
yes.
The two crooks laid across his chest. Yeah. Did you know Tutankhamun had a sarcophagus in a sarcophagus?
Yes.
Well, I call that weird symbolism on his head, and they took the fourth time to put ears, very detailed ears.
I was watching what is it called? That movie where what the hell is it with all my friends are heathens, take it slow. That song comes from. What's that?
I don't know.
That's from that one movie, but it's 21 Heathens or something like that.
With the Joker.
Yeah, with that.
But I was watching that movie yesterday, and it showed this goddess right here. It won't go to it though. It shows it in you see that in the pop-up menu, but it won't show. You
gotta go back just a little bit behind it and then hit play, so it reloads it.
But Steve. Hey guys, I gotta get out of here. I got things I gotta do, but I am still gonna be listening. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. I love you all.
Love you too. Take it easy. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Woohoo.
Happy Hallmark holiday. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Go spend your money. Oh, wait.
Steve,
what?
Can you play the video?
Yeah. But you see this right here? This was on that movie, but she was a witch.
I don't see it.
It showed all the headdresses. I'll back it up again.
That would be kind of cool if those really are spaceships. They've been sitting there the whole time.
So the movie I want you to play is using 100% of your brain, Dr. Bruce.
Hang on 1 second. Right here, this right here. This being right here.
Yes.
She's on that movie. What is it? What is that movie called? Where it's Deadshot is Will Smith, and then it's got the reptilian guy that swims in the sewers. Does anybody?
Legend?
No, not I Am Legend, but the other movie. What movie was that called, guys?
No idea. Maybe some.
Well, there was a being like that in Hellboy.
Yeah, but you see this headdress thing? She had it on her, and
water.
Huh?
Shape of Water.
Suicide Squad. Squad. When they went to go rescue that lady or whatever, or and kill the freaking Egyptian, her brother, which was I think they depicted him as Ra. I don't know, but anyway, on her headdress right here, the Vortex Math Principle, the iconography for that was on it. The Orion symbol was on it. The Infinity symbol, and then there was several other planets listed on it. On this headdress that she had on her head.
Okay.
But she was standing in the middle of a vortex just like this too. But look at this. There's 4 of these people. The same as the 4 sons of Horus, you know? Okay, now what were you saying? Sorry.
The first guy's reaching out.
100% of your brain, Dr. Bruce Lipton.
That video you sent me?
Yeah, did you watch it?
A little bit of it. I think I've seen it before, actually.
That actually sounds interesting because I watched that movie Lucy like 100 times just because that was like the closest thing to what we really know what it might be like.
Oh, you're talking where the computer starts taking over?
No, that chick takes some kind of. She gets. They use her as a drug mule and some kind of weird synthetic drug that basically enables her to start using more of her brain as it's basically killing her too. But she gets to the point where she sees everything as light and
she became it all.
Yeah.
Which one?
Dr. Bruce Lipton.
Yeah, which video?
It's 100% of your brain, using 100% of your brain.
Okay, and?
Play that one right there.
Rainbow already got it in the chat.
Sound's not on.
What happened? Hello?
I don't know.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you, but not the...
Because I went to freaking full screen, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to like the full screen. It's real choppy right now.
So he basically talks about unlocking your brain, 100% of your brain. But I don't know why it won't do the sound.
It did that earlier for him. It was like it played sound on one video, the next video it didn't play sound, and then his last one had sound, and now this one doesn't.
This one doesn't have sound?
No.
No.
Really?
Did you come out of full screen? Or are you still in full screen?
No, it's well, that sucks.
I can kind of hear it in the background of when you're speaking, like playing through your microphone, but...
So if you end up editing this video, chop this out, and when you do your next little video, try to put this in there. I think it's very important.
You know what I thought of right away when I seen this was how they're saying 99.9% of atom is empty space.
That's the very first thing I thought. Dark matter.
Yeah, And that's what Robert Penrose is fighting against right now, actually.
Dark matter is just some BS term that they came up with for something that they couldn't figure out what it was.
No, it's entropy because what's happening is the dark matter starting to outweigh the light. You know what I mean? Because it's entropy, and that's the set of the cycle. That's the night of the cycle. You know, because the morning, the sunrise, the noon, and we were in our noon, you know, for the last 2,000 years, and now we're at the set. We're at the sunset of our cycle. The hero's journey is about up for this cycle. And that's what the natural cycles of things are about. And I think that's what the entropy comes into play as dark matter, and it's manifest, and it propagates exponentially, meaning it probably doubles. And that's where the whole doubling effect of the numbers comes from. You know how, you know, we got 7.8 billion people on the planet now, all of a sudden, you know?
We've been here before.
Right. Yes, obviously. And that's what the Giza Plateau is about, is to remind us of that.
We try to send ourselves messages.
Yes, leaving the crumbs for like Hansel and Gretel to follow the crumbs. You know.
Well, the problem is making sure we get this completed before it's time's
that's
up, and we gotta start all over.
Right, that's what the harvest is about. That's why I think Phil came to us, guys. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
I've never been able to come to terms with this whole harvesting. I'm like, yeah, harvest. You're not harvesting.
It doesn't sound real good, does it?
Yeah, you can harvest. You harvest food.
Right.
What's supposed to be feeding off of us here and our energy? Harvest. Yeah. Nope.
No, the harvest though, you have to think of as something else entirely, because there's a good and a bad side to everything, right?
As I understand it.
So do you contend that it doesn't matter whether you're good or bad? You're either just going to go to one side of the Jedi. It
matters if you're good or bad, if you're going to make the divine coupling, because the divine union is only going to happen if you're doing good for the better. If you're trying to better the world. If you're against the world, you're anti-Christ. You know, and that's where the whole anti-Christ concept comes in, I believe, is the ones that attain the knowledge or come close to attaining the knowledge, but don't do good with it and try to circumvent the system.
Maybe the ones that are at least trying.
Yeah, the ones that are at least trying still, you know, you're still gonna end up in the do-what and still gonna. But there is a way in this book, in the Emerald Tablets, that tells you that you can hold on to your consciousness of your previous life, but you gotta follow a certain set of criteria when you die, and you gotta know when you're dying. That's the thing, you know.
So you have a year left?
I think we have. I'm not even going to say it.
Right.
You know where I stand on that. I'm not even going to say it.
10 months exactly.
All right, man. Steve, you better drag our asses through.
I don't
that
mean.
Actually plays into so many other different things, though, too.
You have to understand that might mean something else, though, guys. You know. It might mean that it's just a new beginning or a new age for, maybe that's where the wheat and the chaff get separated and the negative gets put in its place once and for all. But I don't see that as an occurrence that can be actually sustainable in a dualistic matter form, because without the duality, you have no friction. Then because you have no heat.
Have one without the other.
Right.
And the way he was explaining, Dr. Lipton was explaining it is, it is not a duality. It is a singularity.
That's what we strive for, is the singularity divine union. Correct. The one with the all. And that is a whole different, that is the eternal essence of who we are, is the one with the one, melting back into the furnace of fire, you know?
Purified.
But I mean, the way Phil explains it is you get to choose whatever you want to be after that. You know, you're free of the freedom of cycles. You're free of the cycles, you know, because right now we are slaves to the cycles, both on a microcosmic level and a macrocosmic level. You know, the cycles of the earth, the wheels within the wheels, the Ezekiel's wheel, all of that stuff comes into play, because we're in the cycle of the weeks. We're in the cycle of the day. We're in the cycle of the hour, of the minute. You know, on down to the very second, you know, we're in that cycle. of manifest matter, and that's it. And I have no qualms with being here. I believe I like being here because I like the challenge. You know, I believe that in my heart of hearts. I believe that because I like experiencing the emotion.
Right.
You know, I like crying. I like being sad. I like being happy. I like having sex. I like, you know what I mean? I like it.
Sure.
And you know, maybe I'm a devil for that, but I still want to meet my higher self, and I still do what's right. You know. But
Well, Van Halen, the great song, "Best of Both Worlds."
Right. I want my cake and I want to eat it too. Right.
Right.
Exactly. And it's weird how all these sayings from older people just come right back full circle on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's crazy how, you know, you reap what you sow, all of that stuff, you know, all of it's just like, it's so true. It's so pertinent that, you know, here, we'll see what the demiurge to somebody else is. You know what I mean?
The funny part is most of those people that told you
Isn't
those
it
sayings had no
amazing?
idea what they were saying in the first place.
Well, isn't it amazing how long it takes you to even realize that? So think of it when you were young. You didn't even have these concepts at all.
What about the wolf and the lamb? Who remembers that being in the Bible?
It wasn't. It was the lion. Right?
Right. It was the lion and the lamb.
What's your opinion of skipping timelines?
I think that's a consequence of entropy, of the being allowed to go on for too long. You know, and some say that CERN has created a time jump to circumvent the regular cycle, which was said to supposed to happen in 2012. And isn't it odd that we're 7 years past that?
They're trying to repair what was broken.
7 years.
Or circumvent the natural cycles.
Right. Well, then, so is that so they can continue ruling?
I think they're just scared of dying.
I'd tell you what, though, I really have noticed that, like, since 2012, I didn't realize that at the time, but it was like a 3-year cycle, rinse and repeat, you know, that 3-year cycle. And then it's like, it kind of like did it again for the first 3 years, happened again each year for the next 3 years. And then I was like, I gotta get out of this. You know,
well, you notice how the weather is just going from polar opposite to the opposite ends of the spectrum like this everywhere now. It's going from normal to super cold to super hot to super cold. You know, I mean, not super hot to super cold, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like in my area, and I made a comment earlier today on a Facebook post of one of my friends that he said something about climate change is just a money-making endeavor and it's not real. Here's the proof. And I went, how could you say that, dude? You live in Minnesota. It was just 45 below, and then the next day it was raining and 45 above. How can you say that's true? You know?
Oh yeah, we had snow and, you know, sub-zero or close to it, and then 60 degrees a couple days later.
Yeah, that's not normal. I don't care what anybody says.
No, see, I was thinking that before that was like, remember how you were looking at the sky and we were seeing these images that look definitely like there's some kind of planet, and I was relating that to, you know, to me it makes a lot of sense that if there is something out there and it's magnetically pulling our Earth, and say our North Pole is going from the left to 23.5 degrees to the right at 23.5 degrees, and back and forth that
creating
way.
a wobble.
Yeah,
that makes sense, but
it makes complete sense of what we're seeing here, and why the moon suddenly is doing this, like, much closer, and blood moons that we've never had all these times before. And
I think that whole thing though is because we're at the set of a cycle, and it's just a natural progression of the cycle. And
well, unless
there is a faction on
we're
Earth,
way out on the edge of the
galaxy. Yeah,
we were way out on the edge of the galaxy, and now we're almost to the center.
Yes, we're 26,000 miles or light years closer to the center.
We're about ready to go on the journey.
I don't know how that supposedly happens, but
I think it has everything to do with the entropy and the Godhead. You know,
It seems to be that only the people that are affected by this supposed Mandela effect know anything about that. The Earth being in a different location and a different arm. The other ones that it's like we were moved from there to here, where they've always been. You know, their world's always been this way.
So we're going to center point right now.
Right, to to get redistributed, right? And because you know how they say information is it never dies, it's only redistributed,
right?
And same with light and everything else. That's what we are. That's what we create energy, and we are its creation, in essence. So, and have you noticed when Phil's talking about all of this, he always references the moon being blood red and eclipsing the sun. You ever notice that? He says it over and over and over again, dude.
David Bowie, Black Star.
Yeah, that video is just crazy. And isn't it odd that it's 10 minutes long exactly?
As I understood, that Black Star thing was our sun's binary twin, which is supposedly what the whole
which could be just the
which is
dark
what supposedly the whole Nibiru star system is what it's orbiting, and the two suns go on a pattern forming the infinity sign figure 8, and when they're furthest apart is the dark ages, and as they get closer together is the golden age. And does that make sense?
You know, the ultimate duality, the ultimate opposite, polar opposite is in and out, or dark and light. So why would the sun be any different? An unseen sun and a seen sun, you know?
Right.
And so it could be attributable to the spiritual sun. You know what I'm saying here?
And what one thing you were saying something earlier about the sun that just you kind of reminded me of. I wanted to touch base on was the fact
the Stargate?
We're told that the sun is hot, and you would think that it's hot, and you don't want to go into it. Well, I've always wondered, like, and I've questioned before, and I got kicked out of classes in high school for this, but like, if the sun is so freaking hot, how is space so freaking cold?
Exactly. That's exactly
what the sun doesn't get hot until the energy passes through our atmosphere, which is what makes it hot.
It's all it is the light reacts upon the atmosphere, I believe, and is changed into heat, or we perceive it as such because it's light.
Yeah,
and the earth transmutes it. But you notice when we're talking, guys, how the imagery in the back kind of matches what we're talking about.
Is that not crazy?
Dude, I've been doing music videos, and I've had this other guy, Greg J, if you guys are familiar with his work. He put together a 2-hour music video, and he said, dude, and he emails me every once in a while because I've tried to get him on my show, and to interview him. But he does all the Velikovsky planet stuff, planets in collision and all that. But he said, dude, you ever seen anything like this? Watch this video, man. And I never did anything. He said, I just put the music and put all of my imagery and just let it play out. And I've done that with the Emerald tablets and stuff, and had my slideshow playing in the background, and I'll be reading it's just crazy. It lines right up, dude.
Yeah.
I don't have that many images like that or anything like that set up.
Like I said, I've got like 2 terabytes worth of fucking images. It's crazy.
I think the biggest thing is no fear.
Right, because fear is going to hold you back from the truth. And, regardless if we make divine union or not, we are guaranteed another shot at it. But I think there's some people here that are, fed up with it to the point to where they're just so, sick of it.
That thing in that video, go back just a few seconds where it had a list of I do, I don't, and the percentage of getting it done. A little bit further forward than that. Right there. That is so true, and people don't realize that the way they normally speak on a day-to-day basis and how this applies to that.
Right. Instead of saying I can't.
Like, I wish I can go to the zoo next weekend. Really?
Instead of saying I'm going to the zoo.
Yeah, I'm going to the zoo.
Or I am.
Yeah.
That's the difference between belief and knowing.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Very
I
good.
just saw that and I was like, I just thought that was so key to make sure people to point that out. You know that people don't
Yes.
realize that even when they think they're awake, then I've even caught myself in the past, you know, saying something like, "Wait, why am I saying it like that? That is, I'm guaranteeing that I don't get that. When I'm trying to manifest it, I'm like, no, I need to
That's
think
precisely the
different.
reason why I try not to give the whole negative side of things any of my thought, because I know it's not really.
Oh yeah, I try to tell people that all the time too, and I don't know how to really express it, but what you focus your energy on, meaning you
How
pay
amazing.
attention to, you gravitate towards. So if you focus on the world is blowing up and everything's dying and
Right.
all you're going to see is destruction, and that's the path you're going to go on. You know, if you focus on like Nibiru's coming in and the planet's gonna flip and there's gonna be a 300-foot tsunami. Well, guess what? You're gonna go through
Ain't that the truth?
exactly what
I
you.
try to keep focusing on restoration, full
Yes.
restoration.
Right. And Wayne Steiger recently, well, 60 Seconds for Humanity. I don't know if you guys were watching his channel at all then.
No, I stopped watching that guy a little while ago. He kind of got a little whacked out.
He does change his mind a lot, but you know, I don't hold that
I mean,
against
I
him.
don't blame him
Well,
for that. That's fine.
Here's our reality. Watch this, guys. Here's our reality right here. This is the endless to go train.
I don't think we should be afraid of any knowledge or any study.
We shouldn't.
No matter what they say, I think we should look at it all.
Right.
Yeah, really, especially everything that they tell you that you shouldn't focus on and that's evil and all that. That's the first thing I've started. Like, okay, let's go
I
check
think the
that out.
first thing we need to really get rid of is the word they, you guys.
Oh, that's right. You keep saying that.
I think that's the first thing we need to get rid of is they, because they are us, man. Until we own up for what we are a part of, we can never change it. That's my opinion.
So we should
'cause
always
every
say,
time you say they, you're pointing the finger somewhere else.
we should
Well,
just say we.
My other reflection won't admit.
But you know what I mean there? You know what I'm getting at there?
Yes.
That I don't mean it to say like I know that's for sure, but you know, I just believe that
That's our programming kicking in. Damn you for pointing it
right.
out.
And saying the word believe is probably not the greatest either, because in the middle of B and V is lie.
Lie.
You know?
Just like tell lie to your television.
Right. Exactly. And programming and chat and you know, in the channels and the World Wide Web, all of it, you know.
Oh God.
But isn't it odd how our video, our TVs replicate our reality? Don't you find this just way weird?
What do you mean?
Right here, how this is being replicated. And right now in the chat, people are going, man, you guys are just repeating yourselves over and over and over again, you know, and they're probably getting fed up with it. Sorry. Because we can't hear it. They can. You know what I mean?
Oh,
we're like the outside observer right looking in on their reality, you know, the people in chat's reality. You know what I'm saying? Because
and then we're looking in on that looking in while we're looking in on that looking in.
Yes. Now listen, here's what it sounds like. Oh, I got it sped up.
Endless possibility, and it's a pyramid.
Isn't that odd? That's just incredible, man.
Going into infinity.
Point right there.
Endless chances.
Right, and that's what we continually get is an endless shot at it, you know.
See, I just thought that was bad programming by OBS.
But doesn't that make sense though? How? Because if you take a magnet and you go up against a closed circuit TV or a tube TV, you know what happens? It shows you the black hole.
Right.
And the magnetosphere and everything.
We literally are a chip off the old block.
Yeah, and isn't it odd that the pineal light is in the shape of a chip or one of them? What are them things called that are
A
a
disco
diode?
ball,
Don't they look like a diode or whatever?
kind of like a disco ball.
No, I'm talking the pineal light with that looks like a lamb and with the orange sticking out of it. You know, the rays of
Oh,
light.
right.
The
Oh,
demiurge.
the disco ball. That's just me.
Huh?
Probably too many Pink Floyd concerts.
He calls it the disco ball because it looks like when you look at a disco ball, the one reflector bouncing the light off.
Right, shoots light everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I
Okay, what we got?
why does it have two? Oh, wow, am I doubled up in there, or is it just showing my right here? This guy is awesome. Oh, here, I wanted to show you this because this thing, not that. Can you hear it?
Yes. No, it's choppy again.
Oh, it stopped the audio.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because of the copyright thing, huh? That's got to be what it is.
He has a pretty interesting viewpoint, though.
Yeah, but you notice he's got the 7 levels, the same as the
Right.
Hermetic principles.
Like the planets.
Yeah, yeah. I think Phil does too, but he's just not knowledgeable on it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know any. A lot of people do. Like Danielle, she has an affinity towards speaking of planets in an archonic manner, if you know what I mean. Like our energy is fraught with the planetary archon, you know.
Right.
But look at this. Watch this thing. It turns into a diamond, dude. See it?
Yeah. I like it when you have her on. She's awesome.
Yeah, Danielle, she's sweet. She's an angel.
Brilliant woman.
She's when she first came across me, she heard me talking about black holes and everything before I met Phil. She's actually the one who introduced me to Phil. And she was
What's really crazy
you to him.
is,
I'm like, what?
is I've never physically met both of you, but I feel like I know you.
Yes, your voice sounds really familiar to me, dude. I thought that the first time I heard you. But this is the only real tangible thing I caught right here in 3-4 years of filming the sky, you know? Now, I've caught other like UFO anomalies type things, but look at that thing. It's a tumbling diamond.
Oh, wow. Let me show you this. If I can, let's see here.
But I literally was driving home I just broke my pinky finger from jet skiing. And I was driving home and I looked to my right and I seen the sun setting and I pulled over and I pulled out my camera. And as soon as I did, that thing popped out of the sun, dude, like that.
Hold on. The start of that
quick.
story doesn't match up. You got a broken finger from jet skiing?
Yeah, because I was getting up on the seat and my hand slipped off the seat and my pinky smashed into the bottom of the tunnel and dislocated. It wasn't broken, but it looks like it was broken because now, you know, it's got a big lump at the socket. But
yeah,
I had to, the guy at the dock freaking, but I mean, there was no reason why I said that because there was no reason why I would have stopped. You know, something in me just said, I used to have this urge to film the sky and I had no clue why. But now I know what it was. It was because it was a sign that, you know, something's afoot. And that's, well, you know, Eric, you've been following my channel forever. I mean, where did I come from?
Yeah,
Picking out
for
stuff
sure.
in clouds, you know?
Yeah, it was always the shapes and stuff, and
Yeah. And I totally believed it while I was doing it. I look back on it, it's like some of my videos recently, you know, just recently. It's like when you hear yourself talk, you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
I
I
sound
feel
like such a dweeb.
yeah, we all do in our own minds. Yeah. Well, you got something to share?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. So have you guys ever seen the have either of you ever seen these? Let me try to find a good picture of one. I don't know if it's a GIF or not. We'll try.
I had people try to deny me what this was. You know, I'm like, how could you say that's a bird? Look at it. It's no freaking bird. There's the refraction right here. And it's like, as soon as it comes away from the sun, it starts turning black and it starts rolling like a diamond.
Well, there's been a lot of people seen those diamond type craft.
Would you guys see that new video from the storm in Orlando?
No.
Oh, there was some recent videos somebody posted up. Apparently, it was not 100%, but from what the source of it was. But the story I saw was that basically the person had a weird feeling to record this storm, and on the video, you could see these orbs coming down. Looks like from a central location, and when lightning goes off, there's like literally this huge ship there.
You know what? I've actually experienced that. I've actually
Just
seen
kind of remind me.
how them super black clouds are manifest. You ever notice
Have you ever
clouds in a cloud bank before?
Have you ever seen the orange orbs?
No.
So probably 2011, I saw what I thought was like a large Boeing 747 getting ready to crash into a field. It's probably 200 feet in front of me. I was like, man, this plane's going to crash into the field. 5 orange orbs in a complete line. So if I imagine looking at the front of a airplane, you know, with the headlights, very bright like that. All of a sudden they went from that line formation into, they morphed into one ball, practically right on top of us. They were orange. The only way I can describe it is a plasma ball about the size of a small car. Imagine a clear beach ball filled with plasma, orange plasma, totally silent. Have no idea what they were. And then about 6 months ago, one came over my driveway and I took pictures of it and I took all the red out of it. And it looked like there was a person in a space suit inside of this orb.
I've actually seen what looked like a reptilian kid in a clear orb before. Like he was riding around on a go-kart. Like you and I would ride around on a go-kart as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, but I seen it, man. And oddly enough, I had it on video and you could see it plain as day and I erased it.
Supposedly it has something to do with the how they can get anti-gravity devices. So now, like even us, like our supposed military has these anti-gravity devices that basically put a force field around you, and in the right light you can see this invisible force field is basically energy frequencies.
That's what the TR3B is based on, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. It's like ion. That's an ion.
Yeah, I call it the ion bubble effect, and I think that's what causes us not to feel the motion of the Earth is the ionosphere.
Ion vortex. That's what kept being downloaded to me. It kept saying ion vortex over and over, and I'm like, ion vortex.
Yes, that's the mercury induced ion bubble effect.
That I was in like a sleeping wake state, And that just kept being repeated into my mind, and I didn't know why, and I still don't know why.
Now you say ion vortex, and the first thing that popped in my head is that picture that Steve just showed with that lady with the little vortex around her feet.
Yeah.
Around the bottom half.
That's not what popped in my head. What popped in my head was the Bellcraft of the Nazis that they said that they invented and is down in Antarctica in their base or whatever.
That was using mercury and magnetics.
Yes, the same as
not ion stuff though.
But it creates a bubble around their craft so they can do extraordinary speeds. It creates an atmosphere of when you hit the button or whatever, when you turn it on, whatever environment you are in at that moment, it creates that environment inside that bubble. So when you take a 90-degree turn at, say, the half the light, the speed of light, you don't feel the G forces.
Yeah, it's not like you're in your.
And they're not really. They're folding space time and falling forward, like pushing a golf ball into a mattress, and then the ball falls into the dip.
Yeah, I've heard it described that way too, but I don't know if it's one and the same. That's what you're talking about there.
I want to try.
It's essentially a gravitron or whatever.
Well, the other thing when I thought
the sync effect, the gravity sync.
Like a transporter beam in a spaceship, I also thought of ionic vortex. It was ionic vortex ring. That's what it was. That's what kept being repeated. I can't tell you why. And I had never heard of it before.
Go ahead.
TV show or something. I don't know.
The whole 0 point energy thing, guys, I think is what we create in our mind. The divine union or whatever. I think that is the 0 point.
Have you ever thought of that as a Stargate in itself?
Yes, exactly.
You have.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's
that is the Stargate.
It's the ultimate one, right? Because you become one with the one. All time existent.
I'm blown away. I've never heard anybody. I tried to explain that to my wife, and she thought I was insane.
Wouldn't that be the same thing as like what the monks say or the Tibetan stuff is, where you get in a rainbow body?
Mm-hmm. One and the same. That's all your chakras.
Into a Stargate.
That's what your chakras are, is the color spectrum. The 7. Yeah. 7 hermetic principles are the same. Pretty much. That's where 7 is so prevalent in our life, in our world. 7 days of the week.
Rainbow.
That's
7.
where I think. That's why I kind of like Gerald Clark's new stuff that he does, which is a little bit more of what he's kind of, trained for in previous, jobs or whatever before he got onto the Anunnaki side of things, is the structural integrity. And, without that structural integrity, like I know my spine is got some curves in it, you know what I mean? A couple motorcycle wrecks here, whatever when I happened when I was a kid there. But supposedly having that good structural integrity and will allow those chakras to fully open up and align, therefore allowing your kundalini to activate and go from there,
I've talked to several females lately that have had the kundalini experience, and they're I don't know, they're like lost in that thought of what it is. And it seems to be females at the midlife, menopause thing. You know what I'm saying? Seem to connect with it easier. And I don't know why that is.
How do they describe it?
That heat rises through their body and then comes out the top of their head.
I thought they called that menopause, so that's part of it.
No, it's like that, but I mean, the ones that I've talked to have actually explained it as a spiritual thing, where they couple it with a thought of like somebody that passed in their life, and it brings them back to a moment when they were with their significant or their loved one that they're thinking about. And it brings me back to when Phil's talking about when he was in Angkor Wat, Because Phil's never sat and meditated like a Buddha, you know, and he says he's never done that. You know, he's never sat in a position with, you know, the lotus position and all that. He's never done all that. He's never really paid attention to the chakras either, and from what I've gathered. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. I don't think it's a necessity, but I think it's one.
Right. And it's like that Orion or that Orion or not
every
Orion.
path is the same for everybody. Though. That's the thing, though. You know. So.
Right. Each person's journey. Right. And that's how it makes it so hard to describe to people, because what my signs are, like I attribute it to the Star is Born movie, you know, and all of these certain aha moments I've had. And I try to convey them to people, and they're like, "What? You know, you sound like you're freaking whacked." You know what I mean?
Well, that's why they call them Hollywood stars.
Yeah, but I mean, my signs aren't going to be your signs. Is what I'm saying. That's what makes the relationship with God a personal relationship, when we're all part of God anyway.
Right, and everybody's going to have a different perspective. You
Correct.
can't put it all in one box.
And that's why that's how it remains hidden too, in a way. You know what I mean? Is because people can't convey what you're experiencing because it's too out of the ordinary that they're not going to pay attention to you.
Or say you're nuts.
Or say you're nuts. Like if you've gone through, because Phil has had somewhat of a renaissance since we've started talking to him. You can tell that his channel was stagnant for a while, you know, and then all of a sudden, since we've been talking and everything. And it's awesome, but you can see the naysayers in his comment sections, and I can't believe that people are actually acting that way towards the guy, you know. And I'm like, well, people are just rife with stupidity, you know.
Those probably really aren't even that many people. They're probably just automated bots that.
Very well could be.
They're not even willing to look. You should look at anything.
I see the that's why I'm like, man, if I thought about making a YouTube channel, and I was like, I kind of stopped myself, because my first thought was, I want to keep my comment section, you know, disabled. I don't want all that crap. But then again, you kind of really can't build a community in your channel without that. Without having
I think the debate is good. I think it's good.
It's very good, but if you get people that are just instantly saying their way is and I've been one of them people. I'm not going to lie. When I was on the Nibiru train, thinking, you know, that was the end all, that was why everything was, you know,
right.
I totally stuck to that, and I got ixnayed, kicked off of channels, blocked from channels, you know, and so I've been one of them people. So I understand that that's part of a journey, you know,
right.
And I can't really knock anybody for believing anything, because whatever wakes them up is going to be different from what I believe, especially if I think I'm a little further on the learning curve than the next. And I think that's half of the ego issue, is to lay your ego to rest, period, and not have an opinion or call others.
Yourself.
Yeah, or call others idiots or stupid, you know.
Well, that's one of in the Emerald Tablets. It says,
it's just true, though. There really
listen to everyone.
Right. And weigh even the fool's knowledge, because whatever knowledge that person brings, like I've said in the past, I was addicted to gambling. I spent my rent money one time on well, more than once, but this time it was all the money I had, and I wasn't getting any more money for rent, and I spent it all at the casino. And I got, you know, my wife and I had issues, and I was on the street with a bag in my hand. It was the coldest day in the freaking year too. But I go over to a friend's
Ho-Chunk in Wisconsin.
Huh?
The Ho-Chunk Casino in Wisconsin, or up in Red Wing?
No, I was at Treasure Island. But I went to my friend's house, who was one of the, you know, I considered him the dumbest person I know. You know, just the least witty person I knew. And I said, man, no, I was so stupid. I'm just so stupid. He says, dude, you ain't stupid. You're just using the excuse of being stupid to continue doing what you're doing. And I went, whoa. That was the last time I gambled, man. I'm not kidding either. And that was over 15 years ago.
That's cool.
It's funny how people will tell you what you need to hear at the right moment, and it come from the most unlikely sources. And then you ask them, like, what'd you say? And they're like, I didn't say nothing.
Exactly.
It's like something took over them and to say that right when you needed to hear it.
Right. It was weird, man. I was like, holy shit, do you realize what you just said to me, dude? You know?
Well, I don't have a problem with your emotion either. That's one of the ways I fell onto your channel was your emotion. I thought it was
a lot of people say that.
Yeah, it was. You weren't pretending to be anybody. You were just being you.
Yeah, and there is our society is rife with a bunch of fakers, and
yeah, you can tell you're a true seeker, and that's what is the draw. You know, not
I
these other
appreciate
people
that.
think they have the information already, and like, let's say certain channel wants to charge $333 so you can even get the
right.
They're the key holders. As soon as the people think that they're that, then they gotta go.
Anytime there's a subscription fee involved in finding the truth, it just turns me off instantly. I'm just like, I'm done. You know, I won't talk to them anymore. That's why I won't
spirituality.
You know, because Gerald Clark was a big part of my journey. You know,
a lot of the other channels though seem like they also like have these people on and all these people on. You're just interviewing people so they can basically promote their book, not talking about Rex at all.
Right.
We're still a coffee mug.
Yeah. Right. So or like, they got to stop and pause for this sponsors, this or that. And I got nothing against that because if that's
I don't have a problem. I mean, people need to eat, and I don't have a problem with profit as long as
we're in the game to we're in the game. We're playing the hands we're dealt, and I'm just not going to. I demonetized my channel because one person said, "Dude, you got to do away with the ads," and the only option I could do with that is demonetize my channel.
Sure.
Yeah. And I figure I'm not getting much out of it anyway. What the hell's the sense? I might as well do what's right.
Well, I think Jared's telling you to sell prepping kits since you got so much food stocked up.
Yeah.
My food's all that food. That $2,000 in food was 2 years ago, man. It's all bagged.
It's all. What'd you get?
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to throw it away, but
no, I mean, if you need it, you'll eat it.
Right, right. Most of it's dry goods like rice and stuff. But I do have a lot of Campbell's soup stuff that was dirt cheap at the time, where I paid like 75 cents a can. But I mean, I'd come home from work and I wouldn't even make it home, and I'd have this. Man, what if it happens tomorrow? I better have all this ready.
Yeah, I've always had the notion in my head that if shit does go down, if what's the purpose in prepping? It's not gonna you're gonna be able to go through all that prepping, and next thing you know is your house gets hit by a tornado or something, and there goes all your preps. What do you do now? So you
right. But the only reason why I did it was for my family and my kids. Was because I want to be able to.
I got a family and 5 kids too, and
I don't want to see my kids. That's my biggest thing is I don't want to go through anything and look over at my kid and see the fear in his eye.
Sure.
That's the only thing that bothers me. I'll take that. I'll turn around, drop trowel, and moon the motherfucker as it's coming. Seriously, and be happy with it. You know what I mean? But
sure,
it'd be like that 2012 movie when they're standing at the shore when the big tidal wave's coming.
Right.
That's what I've always said I'm gonna be. That's gonna be me.
But I just can't see experiencing that next to my kids. That's just the biggest thing that
I've kind of revised that since I started riding a motorcycle. So now it's going to be I'm riding a motorcycle into the wave, but same difference.
What kind of motorcycle you got?
Right now I have none. I had to sell it off when I was out of a job for a year. So
yeah. Isn't it funny how money just curtails your dream?
I had a little Ninja though. Majority I've had my bikes have been small Ninjas, so 250s and then the 300, and I had a Yamaha FZ6, but I got rear-ended on that one pretty bad.
On a motorcycle? Ouch.
Oh yeah.
I once took a GSXR Katana for a ride, man, and I did 220 miles an hour on that thing, and I almost killed myself.
It was in kilometers, but okay.
Whatever, it was fast. I mean, it was so fast that I came up to the stoplight, and I was like 2 blocks away, and I couldn't stop for the stoplight.
Yeah.
Do you live on farms, Steve?
Huh?
Do you have a farm?
No, I live in a suburb of the city. Just right on the edge of where the farms used to be. Now they're all turning into housing developments.
Shopping. Yeah, sad.
Well, that comes with the entropy of life, and that's what's happening. That's why there's cycles, man. That's why the cycles they have to occur. Otherwise, just imagine we were here before, 7 billion of us. Imagine if that was allowed to propagate 5,000 years ago. Where would we be today?
No resources.
Nothing. Now, does that change when you're good stewards to the land? I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet you we'll never know. I bet you none of the societies will ever know, because this is what this place is a cycle for the attainment of the demiurge light. That's exactly what this is, man.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever considered this? And this is probably coming from Damon Barry, where he's saying, look, usually it's wiped every 5,125 years. Unfortunately, we have been dumbed down so much, torn apart, divided, that there may be people above us, whether it's us that send themselves back in time to save us, which I kind of think sometimes, because because the ultimate goal was always to leave, right?
The only way you can leave is by meeting the one.
And I think you have to realize that love is it.
Love is what?
Love is the ultimate.
Right. I agree with that.
And if you use your heart versus your mind, you will never go wrong. You'll never hurt anyone.
I believe that's where it's always said to follow your heart before your head.
I believe the first part of your point.
Go ahead, Eric.
As I said, I believe the first part of your point is 100% correct, though. That's the only reason that would explain that why supposedly star seeds have come back down here to help us. I mean, why would we come back down, or why would they come back down to help, or the star seeds come back down to help, if it was just normal cycle as it's supposed to be?
Well, because to get more people towards the light. Imagine living back in the Egyptian era. They knew their culture was fixed around this divine union.
And that was what was taught. Once you reached a certain age, you were taught. Now it's hidden.
That's what the 13-year-old catechism thing is, where you can only take the sacrament of God, the blood in the bread of God when you're 13 years old. Isn't that odd? Or the Bav Mitzvah, or whatever it's called in Jewish.
There's also something there too that I think you're skipping over, is that we do this. Everybody does this a lot. We interpret the past, like what happened in the past, like ancient Egypt. That was a certain time.
Right. I agree with that.
That wasn't in the third dimension, as you said. Entropy.
Right.
Entropy applies to that too. As we go backwards, we go down in dimensions. That was a higher realm than what we are now. So
it's still in the physical matter, though. It's still in a physical sense, because I believe after this, it's onward and upward light.
Well, isn't there physicality supposedly through the first 9 realms?
Could be. I don't know. I haven't been there. Phil could tell us that.
That's why where the 9 comes into 1 thing.
Right.
And then
turns into 10 into the 1. Yep.
10, 11, 12, and 13 after that. But those are non-physical realms.
But if you follow what Phil says, it's all one anyway. It doesn't matter.
Imagine the earth as a giant cell in a giant body. And this cell is being attacked by a virus. So you're going to shut that cell off, quarantine it, and then you're going to clean up that virus.
You could think of it that way, but I think the reason why we're so important is exactly what's happened.
That's a very good interpretation of exactly what's happened.
I think that's another part of that dwelling in the negative or in the dark.
Well, because the frequency fell.
And that's by our own doing, by just thinking like that, in my opinion. Lending your thought to that process. Because once you sell out to that process, you're on that negative train,
Well, but I'm not on the negative train.
I know you're not, but you know what I'm saying is
right.
Like the David Ikes of the world,
It's getting stuck on that.
Yes, and that's what David Icke is. It's stuck
well, there's
on
a lot of people that are stuck in that, like the flat earthers that have
well,
for three freaking years about the same thing, or Global
the
Witness
Democrat Republican thing.
got
I mean,
almost 2 years of explaining that the God in the Bible is not the God you think it is, and
right.
you think you can explain that in 3 or 4 videos, not 2 years worth. But
right,
that's just me,
And then breaking down the intricacies of who Lucifer and Satan and all this other stuff, all of the intricacies of what everything is as a whole. If people just wrap their minds around that, okay, there's duality. So what does that tell you?
But that getting stuck in that stuff is one thing, but putting the pieces together to understand our past and our history, is without being stuck in it. Like, well, what Nomad and I kind of are trying to say here is that
you're trying to say where you have to know where you were before you can know where you're going.
Yeah, right. Basically, and you gotta, how can we know exactly where to go, how to fix, not go down the same path again if we don't know the proper history?
But I think that's an impossibility that we're not going to be able to fathom, and we just got to work. That's why everything is said. It sounds cliche, but we have to go
with it. I think it gets fixed. I think we fix it.
Yeah, this system, I think it's impossible, but as we're going through this cleaning up process, what we're going into, the possibilities are endless.
Right, and if we get enough people thinking on the same terms of, we have the power to change.
Well, here's the thing. I think we've got enough people now that the change is coming. Even those that aren't awake are going to be forced awake.
Exactly.
That's odd you say that, because if you've watched the History Channel lately and all of the programming lately, it's leaning towards the more spiritual side of things instead of the alien thing now. You notice that?
They've been milking this thing along for since 2012, basically, is my thoughts on it. So to get more and more people, and we're getting there, but still at some point, the way we're going, if we try and go this natural process, we're going to be here to 3,499. It might possibly do it by then. So some people,
it truly is the 100th monkey.
Right.
Yeah. There's going to be some kind of force process that people are going to wake up and be forced to wake up, and those that absolutely can't handle it, well, then.
Well, that's the wheat and the chaff analogy. The two in the field and one's left standing.
If you ever look at the New Age side of things, of what they teach or whatever, because they got this part truth to that too, but they teach the same kind of thing. Like, there's going to be some kind of event where the event is like a spark going off in your head, seeing the light.
Or a big wave of light washing the earth clean,
Yeah, some to that effect. And then that there's a splitting of the earth, and that could go towards
that
right there could be the splitting of the cell.
Yeah. That right there, that doubling of what you just said right there, Eric, is exactly what, if you look at the North Pole and the magnetics, that's exactly what it comes to mind when I think about it, because there's two North Poles, So, it's like, what the hell, man?
Like I said, I've been trying to take a look at all aspects of it and trying to gather the truth, because that's the same thing I found with like religions, is like all religions have a little piece of the truth, but you don't get the truth of it until you look at all of them. But
it's amazing that all religions are exactly all correct, but you got to look at it from the eyes of the right perspective in order for it to be correct. If you think of it as,
that's also the two circles.
Yes, the Vesica Pisces, correct. Yep, and that's where the whole stuck in the middle with you.
Audi symbol.
Yes, Audi, the Volkswagen Olympic symbol is the vortex math one. Yes.
Have you ever seen, if you spin the Volkswagen symbol, it supposedly turns into a swastika? Have you ever seen those?
But the swastika is a good thing too, though.
Sure, but they demonized it.
Well,
just like the eye in the triangle.
They twisted it too. The good version of the swastika, instead of the arms folding like, it's basically the arms are reversed on it, so they all face up and out instead of down.
Oh, I didn't know.
Makes so much more sense to me to teach everyone. Say, look, let's elevate.
Right, and that's essentially what Phil's doing, and that's why I think I had the calling. I never saw myself on YouTube doing this.
How did you even get into it? Both of you.
Nibiru.
Oh, and that's how. So you never had any of these thoughts before at all?
Well, I've always had something pulling at me with the number 333 and telling me there's something more to life, and had these residual memories of when I was a kid and them dreams I used to have. And I used to have dreams and wake up with yelling. Like one time I yelled this girl's name and I didn't even know Elisa. Well, 2 months later, I ended up getting her pregnant and she had an abortion with my kid.
So something
Right.
like that is the good version of the symbol, and the opposed version of the Nazi symbol is inverted. Each one is inverted on the Nazis symbol.
Oh, you mean the L's are facing the wrong way?
Yeah, and that's what they did with a lot of symbolism of all that stuff, is they inverted it. You know, so
Wouldn't it also be the Templar cross if you push those lines back together, or am I crazy?
more likely, yes.
Well, the cross is the cross is the one and only symbol of man and spiritual. That's the monad, essentially the horizontal line signifies or represents the physical duality on either end of that horizontal line, and the ineffable or God is the vertical line, of the cross, and that's why it's got the golden mean built right into it, where the two sides of the top of the horizontal add up to the vertical, and that's essentially what the cross is. And it's weird how our calendars, our galactic year is separated into a cross into 4 sections. We have 4 seasons, on down the line, 4 elements, and it's just crazy. It's too perfect to not be divine.
It's also a target.
Yes. Yes. Or X marks the spot. That's where the treasure's found. At the end of the rainbow, you'll find your pot of gold.
Yeah, definitely all shows that there's this is all creation. This isn't random at all.
Right. On down the line, from the numbers to the wording, everything. Like the words are swords, swords are words, and all, everything is just too like the television or the soul trap, or the soles on our feet, the solar plexus, the solar system, soul, everything.
And it's amazing how they got us all to wear
Right,
rubber shoes and be disconnected from the earth.
Bingo.
Yeah. Yes. I contend that Avatar is very much what it really is.
That's a lot of people say that, and yeah, and I find it weird that in ancient days everybody had long hair and long beards.
That's a lot better option than that Matrix option.
Yeah. Yes.
I think Matrix is the future us if we're not careful, but I think it's already headed that direction. If you follow Truth Stream Media, they really pound that whole digital identity thing down your throat, and I don't blame them, because if they're onto something, obviously. But
It sells coffee mugs.
Right, but I mean, I think if you're stuck, I'm glad I never got popular, because maybe I would be on that side of things. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think I could ever go against what I believe, and what I believe was ever changing, and recently, I don't think that's ever going to change now from what I'm on now, because I believe
stabbing cabin of truth.
Huh?
Yeah,
the stabbing cabin of truth.
Right. And it's odd that they say in the S sound, I've heard somebody that I mentioned earlier did a video on S and the serpent and the word S, and that's my name.
Yeah.
Steve Stone, slightly slanted sleuth,
How weird. Right.
And I'm a stone mason. My wife's born on Halloween. Her mom's born on Halloween. Her mom's married to a guy named Steve.
It's pretty amazing when you break it down.
Yeah,
what is
dude.
Danny? Does Danny feel like the path is good?
Danny's she's been through a lot of strife in her life, and she's really seen the light lately, and she's on to the same path we are. Yeah, she knows that it's all within us, and she's on it.
She has a lot of gifts.
She does, and that's what drew me to her. It was because she wasn't afraid to express to me what she had visions of, and she would express her visions, and everybody else would, including me at first. I was like, "Holy shit, this girl's nuts," you know.
Sure.
Sure. But then I paid attention to what she was saying. I was like, "Wow, that's exactly what I'm talking about," you know. So it was like, wow, she confirmed what I was, you know, because oddly enough, you know, I try to, when I first met Phil, I said to him, I said, so the black hole is everything, you know? And think about that. The black hole is exactly opposite of what good is in our psyche. It's the thing that destroys everything.
Well,
you gotta
plus,
think-
what's on the other side of a black hole? A white hole shooting light.
Right. It's where the two cones meet. If you follow Dan Winter, he talks about the two cones, the where they meet, you know, and that's exactly what it is.
And the way we really should be, the way we're taught to look at it is bad, but the way we should look at it is where energy goes to be re-energized.
Right. It is the isotropic vector matrix.
Unbelievable.
Okay, I don't know about your fancy dancy words.
No, that's from Nassim Harriman. That's the
Brilliant.
Yeah, he's awesome, but he does say a lot of words. I'm like, dude,
yes.
talk in Chicago to me, please.
But he does talk in a layman's way, though. He talks like me. He's kind of stutters and tries to find his word, and you know, and can't really put it articulate it in a manner where a lot of people like Dan Winter.
I just took that as because it was a second language.
No, I think it's because he's got so many words in his head. That's my problem. Is I got so many words in my head. I'm trying to fit them to the exact, you know, like Phil. He can articulate, and I think he says he's trained himself to do that. You know, he said it was weird that I came across him after him being illuminated for 4 years, because that 4 years nobody talked to him. You know, he felt alone. He said he was going to die, and nobody was going to hear what he had to say. That's what he said to me the first time, and I was blown away how quick he answered the email and how quick he said yes to me. Because
He's been putting YouTube videos out for a while.
Huh?
He's had YouTube videos out for a few years.
Yes, I mean, if you look at the progression of his,
nobody paid attention.
Nobody paid attention to him.
Really?
There was the few that were on his line of thinking, and you knew that there was something there, but they, you know, you could see his channel was going into stagnation because he was out there telling everybody and nobody was listening. And he said it was odd that I came across him when I did, and you know, I feel completely honored to have Phil in my life and be my mentor. He's my mentor now. You know, I'm his pupil because that's what
it was meant to happen. I think it all falls together like a puzzle.
Yes, and I think that has to do with the whole cycle thing. He won't ever admit that.
Because
he knows
we've been here before.
Right.
That's why we know each other.
Right, and exactly. And that's what he said that last podcast last week when he said that. He said, I know for a fact you guys have all been here before, at least me. He said that to me. Right. You know, and it's because of the questions I ask, the thought process I have, you know, the certain things I ask him and the certain things I'll send him, and he'll come back with the exact thing I need to hear at the exact moment I need to hear it. It's like, wow, how did you know, dude? And what makes me so honored, or what makes me so special to have you, you know, the only person that I believe in the world is ascended is, but you know, I'm sure there's monks up the butt that are, but they're in Tibet, you know.
No, there's other people. Have you ever watched or heard Seven Bomar?
Yeah.
I believe he's onto it, but he's not illuminated, because he would not act the way he does if he was.
Ooh.
Well, and he sells a lot of stuff.
Yes, that's exactly it. Exactly it. He's into the money trap.
He could give away the knowledge for free.
Correct. And he stops short of the illumination, and he starts pointing fingers and they. You know what I mean? If you watch Phil's last couple years of videos ever since he was illuminated, he doesn't do the blame game thing or that person is wrong. But if you watch a couple of his earlier videos, you know, and it shows true character for him to leave up his Bill Maher stuff, you know, where he was knocking somebody else. You know what I mean? He wasn't really knocking him, but he was just proving that it wasn't true.
Right.
The Billy Meyer guy.
You know,
Sorry.
and I never even watched any of his Billy Meyer stuff because I knew Billy Meyer was pretty much a farce from the get-go. He was being manhandled by the guy that was selling his stuff.
Yeah, I believe a lot of that stuff is all
Yeah,
manufactured.
there is some true stuff out there with. I mean, just that Sunrunner offshoot video I showed you. There's no explanation for that other than it's a light being. You know, you can't say anything else other than that. And I know for a fact because I'm the one who took the freaking video, and it was only 45 seconds of video.
Shit, that could just be one of us astral traveling.
Right, it very well could be. Or it could be somebody just got released from their body and their soul got ejaculated out of their head. You know? Because it's funny, but isn't it odd that we are like flowers in a bed, a garden bed, in the Garden of Eden.
And the seed that's shot out.
Yes, and our seed, but our lotus flower, our brain turns inside out, becomes the cosmos, you know, the do-what, essentially. We become one with the infinite and ineffable God in a finite form. I mean,
I've always thought of comets as sperm.
That's exactly what I think. Yes, and that's where Randall Carlson comes into play, and the geocosmic Rex part of him. I think
they are what fertilizes the cells, the planets.
Yes, in the cosmic, yeah, the cosmic seeding. Yes, but I think it is the proverbial prophetic sign of the cycle change. If you get my drift.
No.
Okay.
Try
the physical manifestation of the illumination.
Oh, okay, I get it.
You know, like Noah's Ark is Noah's Ark very well could have been a physical thing in the physical world, but now that I've heard Phil's story, I see all of these stories as, you know, allegories for the one story, and it's just played out over and over and over. It's just so stupid that you didn't see it before, you know. You always had a feeling though that everything was repeated.
Every single movie is that story.
The hero's journey, yes.
Every one of them.
Everyone that grabs us is. Because there's B movies out there that are just like blah. You're like, yeah.
I don't know if 50 Shades was so much of a hero story.
Well, no, that's to get the women that are buying the books to, you know, keep buying the books because they're hoping hoping they can change the hero.
But most of them are the hero's journey.
Right.
Yeah, all the real big popular ones, so to say, all the.
And it's basically there's always a hero and there's always a damsel.
Pop culture.
White hat, black hat, cowboys, westerns.
Yeah.
Hello.
They always present your duality. You have to choose.
Live stream right now.
They basically make you choose between the one or the other.
Huh?
The bad side from the get-go.
Why is it snowing? How much?
Oh, so you wanted to talk about Chicago or Chicago words? How about Bobek? Sausage. Okay. Bobek.
Still snowing hard?
Or Geno's.
Geno's, yeah, no Geno's.
Did you ever go to a coffee shop called Third Coast?
All right.
No.
I'm going to end this here.
We
get finding out what I got to do. Love you too, Rob. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
So, yeah, what were you saying? Third Coast, what?
Oh, I was asking if he had ever been to a coffee shop in Chicago called the Third Coast.
No, when I was there, I wasn't really big into coffee. I actually only started drinking coffee more recently because I quit drinking everything else.
From what I understand, normal people don't want to go outside in Chicago. No, I'm just kidding. You know how the news will have you think Chicago is just torn apart. You know,
it's beautiful. I love it down. When I was a kid, the Loop used to be. It was just kind of degrading, and you go there now, and it looks like it's high tech. You know, people everywhere. It's pretty been an amazing change, but I haven't been there.
They've been doing that countrywide though, like really trying to get everybody like moved into the central of the city and like reorganizing all these cities. I noticed that all over the place traveling, that each city seems to be like trying to condense all the people into one big sardine can.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine all of them Chinese people over in China all stacked on top of each other, and then they got all these ghost cities.
Yeah,
With nobody in them.
Yeah, why they built those don't make any sense either.
I don't know. It doesn't.
I think it was just to keep the population busy during their boom time. I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know.
That's a big mystery to me. I don't know, but I mean, that's another one of those things where like the underground military base is here, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find an opening here in Tennessee.
There's an opening by you?
Oh yeah, there's one in Tennessee for sure. I know that.
And what do you guys think about Walmart being tied into all that?
I think that was some.
I plow it at Walmart, and I'll tell you what, they got a generator the size of my house at a Walmart. Every Walmart has a generator the size of my house. I'm not kidding you. A two-story freaking generator, dude.
That's because China doesn't care what's happened. They want Walmart to pay the bill for the goods that they shipped in that month. So Walmart's like, hey, we're gonna stay open, man. These guys are gonna foreclose on our nation, dude.
Well, yeah, because they own us. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to end this. I appreciate you. We had a good talk today, and I'm gonna leave this one up on YouTube. The past couple, we were too much on lollygagging and stuff, so
all right.
Because I felt it was more of a distraction than a
conversation. Good to talk to you about.
Think of a topic and then send out an email with that topic so we can all do a little bit of research on it and come prepared.
Well, do some research, man, on anything you want. Just make sure it's not on chewing tobacco and cotton candy. Anything else is fair game.
Chewing candy it is.
All right, man.
Have a good afternoon, guys.
Love, peace, chicken grease.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody who's watching. Thanks for joining.